Platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bowberry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bow-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bow time.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get your dream Honda during Happy Honda Days with a CR-V hybrid, Accord hybrid, Civic hybrid, or the all-electric Prologue. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 Honda Accord hybrid, a 4.9% APR on a 2025 Civic hybrid, a 3.9% APR on a 2025 CR-V hybrid, and a 0.9% APR on a 2024 Prologue.
Brought to you by your local Carolina Honda dealers. Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer today.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic Si and Type R.
Is your home ready for the holidays? Beat the holiday rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. Pay $40 per room of carpet cleaned and take 25% off your air duct cleaning. Book online anytime at ZeroResRaleigh.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code SECONDFREE by January 26th. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. It's a mild afternoon for us. Temperatures in the upper 50s, but cloudy with a few isolated showers on and off. Overnight tonight, it's warm at 51. It'll be cloudy and cloudy again tomorrow, but warmer with a high of 67. A few isolated showers.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock checking for money. Dow Jones is down 150 points today to 44,512. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Has plenty of time. Throws downfield. Wesco's got it in stride. Broken tackle at the 20, and he waltzes into the end zone for the touchdown. Smith in the backfield. A fake run. Jennings now throws for Smith. Wide open end zone touchdown. Takes the snap. They rush 4. Throws end zone, and it is caught. Was he inbounds? Yes. Touchdown. Roderick Daniels. For a chance for the ACC championship. The kick is up. It is on its way, and it is good. 56-yard field goal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Those were the sounds of 2 ACC teams making the college football playoff.
Let's go. Let's go.
I don't know how it happened, but Clemson and SMU both get into the college football playoff. Did the committee get it right? That's the question everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to. You just heard Dennis's answer. We'll have Monday Sound Off starting at 3:30, where we'll open up the phone lines. You can tell us if you think they got it right. So bookmark the number 919-860-5326. In the meantime, the Panthers have almost pulled off the perfect script the last 3 weeks. Almost. The Panthers are becoming the all-time record holder in games that they probably should have won, but made just enough of a mistake at the end to lose, thus keeping everyone excited about the development of their roster while also preserving their top 5 NFL draft pick. They've been, like, the last 3 weeks are a masterclass. The issue is you can't always control everything, and you have things like Jonathan Brooks re-tearing his ACL. That's brutal. And you have things like Xavier Legette being the guy that drops the game winner. That's brutal, right? One of the things that we've talked a lot about is this young player takeover with the Panthers, right? Bryce Young, second-year player. Xavier Legette, rookie. Jalen Coker, undrafted rookie. Jatavian Sanders, rookie. Ike Ekwonu stepping up. What is he, a third-year player? You look at Shaw Smith-Wade on defense. Trevin Wallace on defense. You look at all these J.C. Horn still on a rookie contract. All these young players kind of taking over and being the engine that drives the team, and that being part of the reason why everyone is excited moving forward. And then on top of that, you keep losing enough that you have a top 5 draft pick and you get to add an elite prospect to that young core. It's like it's all coming together. There's been some speed wobbles on the young player takeover. One of them being Jonathan Brooks re-tearing his ACL. That's brutal. I believe we have the audio of Dave Canales just really a handful of moments ago relaying that information to us.
Jonathan Brooks re-injured his right ACL. He'll be out for the season. He's going to have surgery to repair that at some point. We're working on all that, but my heart is with him. I mean, just the amount of hard work that he put in to get back to this place, to get him to play. So he's heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. The whole group just feeling for him, and so we'll be here every step of the way with him, supporting him through this journey. He knows how to do this. He'll be able to attack it, and his focus is just going to shift in terms of what he's competing for. So just again, it's definitely hard on JB right now, and so all of our thoughts are with him.
That's brutal. I mean, I'm
sucks.
I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. It's brutal. That's all it is. It's also tough for a player who was going to be a part of the core of the Panthers. Right now, you have 2 ACLs, same knee. The explosiveness, how much do you trust it mentally? All of those questions become a thing, which makes Chuba Hubbard more of a workhorse, which will shorten his career because you don't get to do the split share, and it changes the math of your roster. And then on top of that, like Adam Thielen played great this past weekend, which is good for looking good this year, but it's not the young player takeover we've been talking about. Bryce Young looked good, but you want him to look good with people his own age. Here's the deal. There was everything except the last play made by the Panthers against the Eagles. They're playing the top rushing attack in the entire NFL, right? Don't get me going about Philadelphia rushing attack. Philadelphia's won 9 straight games. Don't get me started out on how hot they've been. They're one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Barkley, Hurts, they diced you up on the ground, but your defense bends but doesn't break enough to hold the Eagles below their average scoring total. Chuba Hubbard, Adam Thielen are workmanlike veterans, power the offense enough to keep it close, and then it all comes down to the final drive. Doom, 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 doom. Bryce Young in the offense take over 1st and 10 at their own 3-yard line. Less than 3 minutes to play. They have to drive the length of the field. And they do just about that. They come up on a 2nd and 4. Philadelphia 32-yard line. Everything's still there. Your young head coach dials up the perfect play call. Your young offensive line, at times, partially young. Your high-paid and one young guy offensive line and running back take care of a 6-man blitz to give your young quarterback enough time. Your young quarterback senses the moment, takes the shot downfield. Your first-round rookie wide receiver shakes the guy guarding him at the top of his route, is streaking downfield. He's open. He lunges at the ball inside the 5. He gets both hands on the ball and drops it. Doesn't make the catch. Everything was perfect. You make that catch, you win the game. Everything was perfect. except for the one mistake, the drop. And thus, your draft pick stays in the top 5. You're 4th. It's kind of the ideal move because you can look at Xavier Legette and say, all right, you're going to be a 200 jugs catches a day guy. And all off season, you're going to be a 5,000 jugs catches a day guy. And when we know what we have to do to get your immense physical gifts to be unlocked is you can't have all these drops and you're starting to add them up. So you know what you have to fix. Meanwhile, you get to look at everybody else and say, great job. You get to look at the defense and say, sure, you got gashed up by Barkley a bit, but 22 points to the Eagles offense, the way they're playing right now, it's a good day. You get to look at Bryce Young and say, were you perfect? No. Was that interception horrendous? Absolutely. But when the chips were down, you made the play to win the game. We just got to get Xavier to catch it. You get to look to the offensive line and you get to say, you picked up the 6-man blitz. They thought they had you. They were going to try to turn that 2nd and 4 into 3rd and long. They were trying to take advantage of us, and you picked it up. Good job. We just got to get Xavier Legette to catch it. Meanwhile, Dan Morgan is in a dark room somewhere with the projector on, watching Tairoa McMillan going, we could have our number 1 wide receiver right here.
Ooh, he could be 4, number 5. He'd be right there for us.
Look at that. Then we will throw that ball. We won't even have to go to Legette. We'll throw it to McMillan. Jump ball touchdown, 6'5". It's really outside of A, the injury, B, I do think you'd like to have someone else make the mistake. Xavier Legette's starting to add him up now.
Yeah.
But
the drops are becoming a concern.
But other than that, it is to script. That's what you're, as a fan, I think you should be rooting for. And somebody on Twitter actually blamed me for it. They said because 3 weeks ago, he was joking. They put the laughing emojis. They basically said 3 weeks ago you said they want to be in games, show they can win them, and lose. And that's exactly what they've done the last 3 weeks. I'm like, well, yeah. And if I knew I could have ordered it, I would have done it earlier. It's good for the Panthers.
Because you look at the last 3 weeks, they had the drive against the Kansas City Chiefs that tied it up, made it 24-24. Defense wasn't able to hold on. Against the Bucs, you had a late drive where you got a touchdown with 30 seconds to play. Mm-hmm. That gave you the lead. Defense couldn't hold on to it right there. And like you just said a moment ago, the drive started at their own 3-yard line. They went all the way down the field, and just Legette comes up short making a catch. Now, you saw it a few plays after that where you came up short as well, but still, it's live 2-minute drill situations that this head coach and play caller are getting, and Bryce Young on the offense together is getting. I think that's a great live experience, live game rep experience that these guys can't replicate any other time.
And here's the rub. Bryce Young is not at the point in his career where you should be asking him to make game-winning plays twice, right? Because you hear a lot of in 1986 the ball went through Bill Buckner's legs, but then they could have got him out on the next play. Or, when Steve Bartman reached over and Moises Alou didn't make the catch, they still had, another inning and a half or whatever it ended up being.
Tailor-made double play that would have ended the inning.
Exactly. You hear that, and it's Bryce isn't to the point now where it's Xavier dropped it, but he could have made a play on the next one. It's if he makes one play to win the game, if he makes the play to win the game, you have to win the game, or you have to acknowledge that it's unfair to ask him to do it 2 and 3 times. I'm a fan of what the Panthers are doing as far as building. I'm a fan of what the Panthers are doing as far as losing to keep their draft pick. And it's not that Venn diagram doesn't overlap much. To have me excited about
there's a small tangent that touches.
To have one circle be you're playing well enough that I'm excited about your development, and the other circle be keeping a top 4, maybe top 3 pick. The sliver that they overlap is very difficult to stay in, and they've been there for 3 straight weeks now. They've been there for 3 straight weeks. It'll be harder to lose to the Cowboys. I'll put it that way. You play the way you played against the Chiefs, you play the way you played against the Eagles, you might win by 2 scores against the Cowboys. Although they do play tonight, and they might beat the Eagles, or the Bengals, excuse me. So I reserve the right to change that opinion. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Again, at 3:30, we'll open up the phone lines for a little Monday sound-off, so stay ready. When we come back, College Football Playoff Committee, I didn't think I'd say it. Good job. I think you got it right. Stick around.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Cincinnati and Dallas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
It's truck season at John Heister Chevrolet, and if you've been waiting for the right deal on a Chevrolet Tahoe High Country, we've got it for you right now. Get yourself a big, beautiful 24 Chevy Tahoe High Country for up to $13,000 off. This incredible deal is for customers with a Costco membership who currently own a 2010 or newer Chevrolet passenger car or truck, or currently leasing a 2019 or newer Chevy passenger car or truck. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and get to John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay-Varina. Together, let's drive.
Are you looking for the perfect holiday gift? Did you know that Bailey's has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for our designer jewelry, fine diamonds, and luxury watches, but we also have a vast selection of beautiful jewelry and gifts under $500. You can make a piece of our Bailey's collection yours this Christmas. Add a little sparkle with the popular Icon Collection Tiny Diamond Hoops in either white, rose, or yellow gold for $395. For only $250, check out our beautiful Sterling Collection Diamonds by the Yard bracelet. Or select one of our Bailey's perfect layering necklaces. For $325, our Goldmark Station necklace, or for only $275, our Icon Puffed Heart pendant. We're celebrating over 75 years of making holiday gifting easy. You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Digging out from under a giant gift list? Kill two birds with one stone at the Dugout Tavern and Grill. First, grab a much-needed break from holiday prep at the #1 sports bar in Apex. Second, get Dugout gift cards for everyone on your list. For every $50 card you buy, you get a bonus $10 gift card. Think teachers, babysitters, pet sitters, Secret Santa gifts. Dugout Tavern and Grill can also host your holiday party or cater it and come to you. Find us on Kelly Road in Apex, thedugouttavern.com.
Adam Golden, studio with my friend Dallas Spruill from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Do you want to wish me a Merry Christmas? Is that why you're here?
Merry Christmas, Adam. Glad to be here.
Anybody else? Anybody more important than me? Of course, everybody more important than me.
It's this time of the year where it's time to celebrate with friends and family. And from all of your good friends at the Aluminum Company in North Carolina, I'd like to wish everyone a happy holidays, a Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
All right, now, hopefully my roof is suitable for Santa, but if people don't have roofs that are suitable for Santa, you guys can help.
We can help them, whether it's metal, flat, rubber, shingles. We got the best warranties in the industry, and we'd love to help you out.
And Santa will land perfectly and take off perfectly from the roof. Aluminumcompany.com online. Dallas Spruill is there. Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Merry Christmas. Visit us on the web at aluminumcompany.com.
For a chance for the ACC championship, the kick is up, it is on its way, and it is good! 56-yard field goal!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. This is a cause for celebration for the ACC. It's not perfect, but you got two teams in the college football playoff. Not perfect, but you did it. The hair on your chinny chin chin. You made two teams in the college football playoff, just barely. SMU in as the 11th seed, Clemson in as the 12th seed. And in case you are wondering, yes, it is out of 12 teams. So the second to last and last seed in the entire deal are ACC teams, but they're in. I hosted the Adam Gold Show earlier today, so for those of you that are sticking around, first of all, appreciate you. You may have heard this. I don't believe in scripted. I don't believe anything is rigged. I don't believe, you're right, when Steph Curry has a chance to hit a game-winning three, I'm not like, the NBA set it up. I don't think when the Chiefs get another call from the refs, I do not believe that there's some conspiracy theory with someone calling in saying, like, make sure the Chiefs win. But if I did believe in conspiracy theories, if I was somebody that was, trying to find what's, the Matrix, I would say the ACC set up the ACC championship. Because if you watch the ACC championship, it looked like Clemson was going to boat race SMU early. And if Clemson boat races SMU, then I believe the committee puts Alabama in over SMU. Clemson gets in. They're the last seed in the whole deal, and that's it for ACC representation. But SMU, again, if you believe conspiracy theories, got the old hat tip wiggle nod, wink, wink, like, don't worry, we got you. They storm all the way back, force overtime. Clemson wins. That is perfect scenario for the ACC because now Clemson gets in with the automatic bid. They wouldn't have gotten in if they lost, regardless of how close they kept it. And SMU, who was 8th in the rankings before the game, gets a close loss to a top 25 team in Clemson. Overtime, can't get closer, so they only fall to 11th, and they get in. It was perfect for the ACC, which made the College Football Playoff Committee get it perfect as well. And it's hard to be perfect in that situation. I really have no qualms with seeding. I have no qualms with who got in, who didn't get in. I have no problem with Alabama missing. I like that Alabama missed. They lost 3 games, including 2 really bad ones. It's credit where it's due. All season, I've ranted and raved against the way that the College Football Playoff Rankings Committee did things, and I still don't know if their mechanism was right. I don't know if their process was correct, but they got to the right answer. They are the kid on the middle school math word problem with just scratches and numbers and it looks like complete gibberish, but then they have the correct answer circled, and you're just like, I don't know how you got there, but I'm going to give you half credit just for it being the right answer.
It's like, but here we are.
but yeah,
you still got there.
The 7 was the right answer. I don't know why you drew, a 1,700 letter algebra equation over on the left side. All you had to do was divide by 4. But you got there. Ward Manuel, the spokesperson, who again I've critiqued a lot about the answers he's given throughout the year, was asked why SMU over Alabama, and this was his answer.
We looked at the number of wins that Alabama had against ranked opponents. We looked at SMU's schedule, and they were undefeated in conference. Their losses were to ranked teams. But we also looked at Alabama's loss to unranked teams. And it was quite a debate. I mean, we value strength of schedule. That's why Alabama, as a 3-loss team, is ranked ahead of other teams that have 2 losses. It is something that we talk about quite a bit, but in the balance of it, in the way SMU played in that game, losing on the last-second field goal, great win by Clemson, great game. We just felt that in this particular case, SMU still had the nod at 10 above Alabama, but it's no disrespect to Alabama's strength of schedule. It's merely looking at the entire body of work for both teams.
I hate that had to be the answer. I like that. That's actually the right justification for once. It's not eye test. It's not like, no, we looked at what they did this year, and SMU did better things. I just hate that it had to be explained because in the past it hasn't always been that way. It had nothing to do with NFL future talent or brand name, or we liked the way they looked in this one contest against this one. It was we looked at the results, and SMU had better results. Who would have thunk that the College Football Playoff Committee would come up with the logical, basic explanation at the last possible second for why to put a team in?
I thought that was AI for a second when I was like, wait, hold on.
You nailed it. Way to go. Credit where it's due. I will say this, though, and this isn't the committee's fault, unless they also structured it. The obvious issue that needs to be fixed is the bye structure.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it sets it up to where the 5th seed who doesn't get the bye, you could argue has an easier path than the 1 seed who does get the bye. Because the 1 seed is going to face Oregon, the 1 seed, is going to face Tennessee or Ohio State in their first game. There's arguments out there that Ohio State's the second best team in college football right now. Penn State, who just lost to Oregon in the conference championship game, is going to play SMU, who, let's be real, isn't terrifying the best teams in the country, followed up by Boise State if they win that. Would you rather
As
face
the 6th seed? Yeah.
Would you rather face SMU and Boise State or Ohio State?
Yeah. If you're Tennessee, yeah, you got to play.
Well, Tennessee has to face Ohio State. I'm saying,
yeah, I was saying
Oregon.
Tennessee.
If
Yeah,
I was just saying,
I
would just pick the higher seed. So, would you rather face either Tennessee, who just beat Ohio State, or Ohio State? That's the situation for Oregon, or SMU followed up by Boise State, which is the situation for the team that Oregon just beat to get the bye. That's putting teams that maybe aren't the best 4 teams into the bye, make it so the teams that are moving into the bye, that don't have the bye, might be in better situations than teams that do have the bye, which just seems wrong. I think the structure needs to change a little bit, and I don't know if it's like reseeding after the first round. I don't know what the move is, because you could just say the highest ranked team still alive plays the lowest ranked team with a bye, and vice versa. So then Oregon would play whatever the lowest seed to advance is, which would save them from getting, kind of messed over. But that needs to be changed. But the 12 teams in and how they got there, I'm fine with it.
I thought the committee, if they would have left SMU out, would have set a pretty dangerous precedent.
Horrendous. Teams wouldn't play in their conference championship.
Exactly. There have been no wait. Like, for example, why would SMU be penalized for playing in the conference championship when they had an 11-1 season, where Indiana is just sitting at home, not good enough to play in their conference championship, and got blown out in their 1 loss, and they're fine?
You'd see an undefeated team take a dive in like the last conference game if they do the math and realizes it gets them out of the conference championship.
Yeah, I think they would have set a pretty dangerous precedent if they had done that, and I'm happy that they didn't.
Although they did set a pretty dangerous precedent last year when they didn't put an undefeated conference champion Florida State.
There's that.
But neither here nor there. This year they did it right, so we don't need to keep criticizing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
Let's go Stangs.
Let's go Stangs. Let's go Tigers.
No. Clemson's suing the ACC. They can get their butts kicked for all I care.
I will say Clemson has a gettable path through the bracket. Texas did not scare me against Georgia.
Oh, God, no.
Quinn Ewers didn't look like he had the moxie. And then Arizona State in the second round would be lovely, even with Skater Boy Scatabo at running back for Arizona.
That game might be 57-54.
But true. But if Clemson beats Texas, which is a big if, but I think it's at least possible, then their path to the semifinals becomes darn near easy. Not quite, but you know what I mean. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We open up the phone lines right now for a little Monday sound off. If there's something from the weekend you want to sound off on, Heister Automotive Group hotline is open now. 919-860-5326. Call in now. 919-860-5326. Your thoughts on the weekend in sports, Canes, Panthers, CFP, college basketball, anything. 919-860-5326. And a little Dean's List coming up next.
Think Santa's got a mixed bag of treats? Soundstation and Security may have him beat. Soundstation and Security has a huge variety of gift ideas for everything audio and automotive. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels, and tires. We even offer full vehicle service, alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. These are great, unique gift ideas. Plus, Soundstation and Security has a variety of financing options. Downtown Smithfield or on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. And online at myhotsound.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime, and Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Here's Brandon with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Tired of waiting for a sleep treatment? At other sleep centers, it can take 6 to 8 months just to get an appointment and cost you thousands more. Not Parkway Sleep Health Centers. We schedule you within weeks and we'll save you money too. We have over 20 years of experience serving the Triangle. Let our expert team help you sleep better sooner.
End your sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health.
Looking for great holiday gift ideas for the golfer in your life? Head to Global Golf's annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shop great deals on the year's hottest clubs from TaylorMade, Callaway, and Ping. Plus, get a free gift with any pre-owned purchase of $200 or more. Global Golf is home of the best deals in golf, so don't miss our annual holiday shopping event Friday, December 14th, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Global Golf, located in North Raleigh, 7320 ACC Boulevard.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
This is Gordon Miller, founder of Miller Lending in Cary, with two exciting announcements. Back in 1950, my father and uncle moved to Detroit and opened Miller Brothers Realty, a business they ran for the next 50 years. Fast forward to 1996, and I moved my family to Raleigh and opened D&J Mortgage, a company I'd named after my children. And today I'm happy to announce my sons Daniel and Justin will be leading Miller Lending as we head towards 100 years in real estate and lending, all the while following the one basic principle I learned growing up in that environment. Always treat your customer as you'd want to be treated yourself. Now, while Miller Lending has long been associated with our popular no closing cost program, I'm also excited to announce the opening of our purchase money division with a strong emphasis toward helping first-time homebuyers navigate the mortgage process. So whether you're buying a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, call Miller Lending and experience the benefit of working with a locally owned family business. In Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Is it correct, Dennis, this is just side note here, that on our YouTube stream they don't hear the music coming in and out of breaks?
That is correct.
All right, so I got to stop dancing coming in and out of breaks.
I was going to let you keep cooking, man.
Looks completely ridiculous, doesn't it?
No.
Shout out to everybody on our YouTube stream, 99.9 The Fan. If you want to see me dance to no music, when Dennis plays a banger coming out of break, I have to.
Just stay locked in.
And then I realize YouTube is watching me and they don't hear the music. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a Monday Sound Off. We do this every single Monday.
They hear this, though.
We let you call in with your reactions to the weekend. Football, basketball, heck, baseball if you got a Soto take maybe. Whatever it is, college, pro, hockey, of course, with the Canes losing another. Whatever your reactions are. Heister Automotive Group hotline is now open. It is at your disposal. The number to call is 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. John in Raleigh has been waiting patiently, so we'll go to John. John, thank you very much for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, 2 points. The first being about the college selection committee.
Okay.
They got it right, but I don't know how many of them on ESPN they interviewed that hour or two didn't even get into the real issue or the real reason they should pick SMU. It was because of losses. All they were talking about was quality wins. Hell, losses should count first, not quality wins, especially when your wins aren't good. I'm sorry, your losses weren't good like Alabama's weren't. And the second point is I see why the ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips does not speak much. He was very nervous speaking. You could tell that. And not only was he nervous, he called one of the quarterbacks he was talking about, I forget which one it was, but he called him Travis Jordan, and they corrected him at the end. So I see why Phillips, he needs to be replaced. I'll just put it that way. And this is another evidence against him.
All right, John, appreciate the call. Call back in anytime. I just thought it was funny how you built up to that last little take. It was like, well, he's not the best, and he's a little nervous, and he mispronounced a guy, and then he's got to go. A few things. One, I think good wins and bad losses are all part of it. Okay, I don't think it's just Alabama had bad losses. I think it's also SMU good wins. Like it's you have to take the full account of their body of work. So if you win a whole bunch of top 25 games, I do think that matters. And what I mean is, I do think if you win 5 games against top 10 teams in the country and you handle some of them pretty well, and then you lose a game to like a group of 5 team, that's fair, right? That's a little maneuvering. However, if you don't have the big trumping ace of spades, if you're playing spades victories, then the bad losses, there's nothing to overcome them. It's a sliding scale. I just think they got it right. I think when you look at the teams, the games they've won, the games they've lost, the right teams are in the college football playoff, and that's not easy. Ian in Apex, you are up next on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Everyone out there, if you want to call in, 919-860-5326. It is open for your comments. Ian in Apex, it is open for your comment right now. Thanks for calling in. What do you have?
Hey, I was just going back and I was looking at the Dolphins versus playing the Jets, and I just don't get it. I honestly don't know why we couldn't have just blown them out. And they have a 40-year-old quarterback throwing 300 yards on us, and it's like, at what point is our defense going to stop being soft and just start tackling? Because we couldn't tackle them, and I'm lucky with this one, and I'm afraid we're not gonna get so lucky when we play the Texans, even the 49ers and the Browns, because Lord knows what they're going to bring. If they're going to be good or they're going to just stink. And I don't even know if we're going to, it's honestly, it's a lost season if we lose another game. So I just think that we can't lose another game. And if we don't, we fire Mike McDaniel, because this team is too soft and we'll never win a championship if we don't fix things and stop being soft.
Love the passion, Ian. Appreciate the call. For those of you that don't recall or maybe weren't listening last, Ian calls in, talks about his Dolphins quite a bit.
That he does.
And we've seen him ride the roller coaster of fandom. There were points in time where he was calling in saying everybody's disrespecting the Dolphins. They're better than you think. Tua's an MVP candidate. Just let them catch this team. Now he's calling in going, I don't know. We can't tackle anybody. We're soft. What I do want to just one caveat. He said, they got a 40-year-old quarterback and they're throwing it all over the place on us. He was throwing it to Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams, two of the most talented wide receivers in the league. Mm-hmm. So, and they had, of the 300-some yards, they had 114 for Garrett Wilson and 109 for Devontae Adams. So, they've beaten, those two wide receivers have beaten other really good defenses as well. The bigger problem is you couldn't run the ball.
Yeah.
I think they averaged, I have it right here, 2.3 yards per carry for the Dolphins. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to control the clock in the NFL, particularly as you get to this part of the season where you got to beat good teams to set you up for the playoffs. Dolphins now below 500, so Ian's riding that wave.
Here's something about the Dolphins that's kind of a lesson for a lot of NFL teams, I think. They paid so much money to Tua, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle. You couldn't re-sign Christian Wilkins on your defense, who's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the NFL, and Bradley Chubb's hurt. So you're missing two key pieces along your front on defense, and you wonder why you can't stop anybody. And also, you struggle on your offensive line a little bit because you couldn't afford to keep Robert Hunt, who's now holding down the fort for the Carolina Panthers because you spent so much money on your other skill positions.
I do think spending big on two wide receivers is too many. I get wanting to have a number one. I completely
100%.
understand that. The second one, which is why you're seeing like T. Higgins going to be available for this. I don't think the Bengals can afford to pay Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. If one of them's on a rookie contract, go crazy, right? Like we saw with the Vikings this weekend. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison both went bananas. Now they're paying Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison's on a rookie contract. That can last for a little bit. But if Jordan Addison keeps up the play that he's had the last 6 or 7 weeks, he's going to be too expensive for the Vikings to keep around, which is why I thought that the Chiefs had it where they had Tyreek and they had Kelsey, where I'm going if your second wide receiver is a stud tight end, tight ends are just inherently cheaper. You might be able to pull that off, but they had to move on from one of them. So if I'm the Dolphins, I would consider what they're saying and finding ways to cut costs so you can spread that money around a little bit better. And Achan's going to be asking for a top-of-the-line running back deal here shortly. I know this is his second year. After next season, he'll be coming with his hand out.
Yeah, it's weird how teams have to manage the money of their players. You can't afford to keep everybody. It's just a reality of the league.
And it's why it's something like Bill Belichick coming to UNC becomes interesting because college teams are going to have to start managing it. It's not a salary cap, but that revenue share cap, whatever it is. And to have somebody with some NFL experience handling that, I think could go a long way. So Belichick might be able to make something happen there, which every time I talk about it, I start giggling halfway through. I don't even know what to make out of Belichick to UNC. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is a Monday sound off, so you can call in and have your opinions heard live on air, 919-860-5326. I encourage you to call in. It's the Heister Automotive Group hotline, 919-860-5326. While we align some more of the calls, let's go ahead and jump into the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we highlight those that are killing it, maybe a little under the radar across college sports, particularly the teams we cover. I have 3 entries to the Dean's List for today. Dennis, do you have some? I should check with you before we go.
I do have one, actually.
Cool. Well, you go ahead. You sounded very optimistic there.
I do,
actually.
Duke and UNC women's soccer facing off in the national championship game. 2 teams right here in the triangle playing each other. Let's go.
And it's those 2 teams in the triangle playing against each other.
Right?
I did see that with all the UNC football stuff going on, Bubba Cunningham will be at the national championship game. So if you want to ask him if it's going to be Bill Belichick, that's the place where he will be. I'll give this one, Dean's List, the College Football Playoff Committee. We talked about it a bunch, but I just want to acknowledge it. I want to give them their gold star. College Football Playoff Committee for putting SMU over Alabama. You've made the Dean's List. Another addition to the Dean's List, Ian Jackson, UNC freshman guard basketball. They beat Georgia Tech over the weekend. But with about a minute and 11 seconds left, UNC and Georgia Tech turned into a free throw contest. Ian Jackson, 4 for 4 in the last minute and 11 seconds. A freshman needs to hit free throws to keep the game at arm's distance. Became a one-score game a few times within 3. The guy stayed calm, knocked down his free throws. That's what I'm looking for from a youngster. Granted, a 5-star youngster that's probably played in massive games at every level. But Ian Jackson, you get to be a Dean's List member for helping save your team against Georgia Tech at the free throw line. And my last Dean's List member before we get back to your calls, 919-860-5326. Before we get back to your calls, Cam Hildreth, Wake Forest senior guard. Both Hildreth and Steve Forbes, the coach of Wake Forest, told the media that Forbes had to rip into Hildreth after their loss to Texas A&M.
Oh, wow.
He had a bad game. Just call a spade a spade. And Forbes, again, according to both the player and the coach, he let him have it. And Forbes did the whole, like, when you can coach your best players the hardest, you can coach everybody, like that whole deal. In the next game, which was in the ACC opener against Boston College, Hildreth had 22 points on 8 shots. It's a bunch of free throws. But he went for 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you respond when your coach rips into you. You don't cry about it. You don't whine. You don't quit. You show up the next game and you play the best game of your young season. That is a lesson for young athletes everywhere. If a coach yells at you, that's not the end of the world. He just wants better from you. That's the Dean's List. Dean's List here on a Monday. Got to make sure we name those in. Heathrow Automotive Group hotline is open for whatever you want to sound off on. We call it Monday Sound Off. 919-860-5326. Call in to sound off. Joel and Raleigh, you're up next. You want to sound off on Sam Darnold. Joel and Raleigh, feel free. Sound off.
That's it, man. 2 words. Sam Darnold, he just needs his flowers. He spent too much time in New York getting crapped on. Just needs a little love. That's all. Playing like a man.
He was around here and also took his share of brutalities from Panther fans. I don't know if you were around for that, but I think there's a lot of people that are happy for that guy. Sam Darnold in Minnesota had a huge game. Appreciate the call. Call back at any time. Had a great game and also has had a pretty darn good season. What are they? They 11-2, something like that? 10-2? Little resurgence. I'll tell you what he is doing. Making a lot of money. He's a free agent this offseason. That's going to be a lot of cash from somebody if he keeps playing the way he's playing. 28 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. 3,300 yards already. Helps when you had a 5 touchdown, 0 interception day. But hey, someone had to throw it to those really good wide receivers.
Vikings are 11-2.
11-2. Yowzers.
Still not the best in their division.
12-1 Lions?
Yep.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Time for the second best record in the NFC, but still looking at going on the road in the playoffs. You don't want to play them the first round of the playoffs.
There is something kind of messed up about divisions. I know there's like no way to deal with it, but it's just feels if you're the second best team in your conference, you should be the second best team in your conference. You know what I mean? The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I am interested by this next caller. The notes say Clifford in Norfolk wants to sound off on me. So Clifford in Norfolk, I don't know if I'll regret this, but go ahead and sound off on Tim Donnelly.
Hey, Tim. How you doing? Hope all is well.
Thank you. Same to you.
Yeah, I want to sound off on you. My kids live down here in Dunn area, and I'm visiting from Norfolk, and I heard Tim Donnelly, and I miss you on 94.1 The Fan.
I see what's going on here, so thank you very much. I very much appreciate that. I miss a lot of what's going on over in the Norfolk area as well.
Oh, yeah, you and Nick Cattles. I'm losing all of y'all around there and been missing out on the good life out there.
Hey, I appreciate it very much, Clifford. Enjoy your time in the area. And just so you know, you can watch this show on YouTube anywhere, right? So 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. If you want to hang out with us and for old time's sake, catch up on the show, 99.9 The Fan on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hey, it was good hearing from you. It's good hearing your voice again.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Clifford.
All right.
Yeah, that's very nice. That's very nice of Clifford. When you take someone on Monday sound off, which, by the way, Heister Automotive Group hotline open for all of you to sound off on whatever you want to sound off on, 919-860-5326, Canes, Panthers, UNC, coaching search, UNC basketball, Duke basketball, NC State basketball, whatever you want to sound off on, College Football Playoff Committee, 919-860-5326, open for your calls. When you take a Monday sound off caller and the only thing you know is they want to sound off on you, it's about a 50-50 there, right? It could go good or bad. And Clifford, obviously that was a good one. Appreciate all the kind words. And I'll also say that, like, 99.9 The Fan YouTube live stream, we gave that to Clifford so he could keep up outside of the market. But also you can go comment there, and it's very similar. If there's something you want to sound off on or something you want to react to, our YouTube videos, we do check questions and everything there kind of often.
Tyler on our YouTube live chat says, talking about Xavier Legette for the Carolina Panthers, saying his drops are extremely concerning. It's become a trend because remember against the Saints, he literally had a ball just taken from him that was perfectly placed on the right sideline and ended up being an interception. And he had the drop yesterday. He's had multiple drops before. It's becoming a trend. That's concerning.
It is. It's. Here's the problem. Like the struggle I have with being wildly concerned with drops is I'm not 100% sure it's not fixable. There's a lot of knots there. I think it might be fixable is the non-double negative way to say that. I think it might be fixable. And what I mean by that is I think you can just kind of grind that out, right? You can fix your hands as long as you have certain natural catching ability, and he does. We've seen him make great catches just like we've seen him drop passes. Just keep peppering him with targets, right? All offseason. Give him the There's a great story about Terry McLaurin, okay? This is kind of the anecdotal way I was going to say what I was going to say. Terry McLaurin reportedly really wanted to go to Ohio State, right? And he had offers elsewhere, and he's a 4-star recruit, and he went to an Ohio State camp with the idea of, I am going to dominate here, and they're going to give me a contract or give me a scholarship offer. Contract would be now college. Back then it was a letter of intent. And he went there, and Urban Meyer, for all of the bad things and tough things about his personality, does understand football. Reportedly looked at Terry McLaurin and said, you just don't catch the ball well enough. So here's what I want you to do. I think it was 1,000 catches on a jugs machine a day. Come back at the end of the summer and come to another one-day camp. And if you improve enough with your hands, we'll give you the scholarship offer. And then, of course, the legend is Terry McLaurin did 4 times as much as they asked him to do. And he came back and he caught the ball more naturally. They gave him a scholarship. He became a great player, ends up being a draft pick. Now he's worth $100 million in the NFL. I think you do it with Xavier Legette. You just go, hey, listen, this offseason, 1,000 catches a day, every morning. You want to do 1,000 in the morning, 1,000 at night? Love it. I think you might be able to get it out of his system. Also, I just looked up the drops leaders. Xavier Legette is tied for 7th with 6 drops. He has 39 receptions. I'm trying to see how many.
Only 6?
6 drops on 94 targets. Jalen Waddle has 7 drops on 72 targets. Jaden Reed of Green Bay has 7 drops on 59 targets. Malik Neighbors, he's got a lot more targets, 9 drops on 126 targets. The leader is Amari Cooper, 11 drops on 80 targets. So it's not like he's dropping a ton. It's just they're all super memorable. They're all like being ripped away and, turned into interceptions, or they're game winners that he's dropping. They're very memorable. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Back to the Heister Automotive Group hotline on a Monday sound off. We have Pat in Durham. Has a Bryce Young sound off, so we'll let him have the stage. Pat, thank you for calling in. Go ahead and sound off.
Hey, before I do that, I'd just like to know how in the world somebody's responsible for 42 points and still loses the game.
Josh Allen.
Like the Buffalo game.
Yeah, I trust me, Josh Allen is wondering the same thing you are, going, how in the world did we lose that game?
What else do I have to do?
I would actually say this. Give credit to Matt Stafford and Puka Nacua, because the other offense was also Dyson. But continue on. Go ahead.
Well, in looking at Bryce Young, I really got to admire the guy for just not sitting in a corner sobbing when he was sat on the bench. It looks like he took the time to study and let the game come to him to where it's slower for him now, maybe, but it looks like, he can make the throws. He's a little cooler under pressure, and he's more confident in what he's doing. Do you think that, that could be something for the future for the Panthers where, they don't even have to worry about drafting a quarterback for 3 or 4 years and let it play out, or do you think he's on about a 2-year window here?
We're nearing the end of this segment, so I'm going to let you go, but I will answer your question. Thank you very much for Thank you very much for calling in. It is definitely a possibility. Here's where I'm at with Bryce Young as far as the future. Everybody wants to talk about, is he the guy for 2025? Don't make that decision before you have to. What I would guarantee is he's going to start every game he's healthy for the rest of this year, and then I'm going to take the time to watch every snap that he's had, probably twice, before even considering that. And then you can go into free agency in the draft with a cooler idea. It's definitely a possibility he's the guy next year. And if he keeps improving at the rate he's improving, I think it's a likelihood he's the starter next year. With the idea you're going to do it again. You're going to start him all next year and then evaluate after his 3rd year if you want to draft somebody. I also think you can give him a true number 1 wide receiver. That next offseason or this upcoming offseason would be the time to do that. I think that's a possibility. What I will say is like you talk about he has the arm to make all the throws and he has all of this. Yes. The thing I want to see from him is the route. Like, oh, you're going to appreciate this, Dennis. I'm going to quote Mike Tomlin.
Go on.
Make the routine plays routinely.
Yes.
He makes some splash plays. The play down in his own end zone, scrambling around, unbelievable play.
Play to Leggett, actually.
Yes. Then the other throw to Leggett, great ball that was dropped. Like, he has some very good highlights. The issue is you'll remember 4 great throws. Then you look at his stats at the end of the game, and he's like 18 for 35 or something. And you're like, wait a second. He completed all the tough passes. Where did the incompletions come from? And you realize there was a dig that he airmailed a little deep in it, down and in. On the sideline he was a little high, and it would have been a tough catch. Could have made it. It's like I just need to see him make the routine plays routinely, to quote Mike Tomlin.
There was a 4th down play. They were trying to go for a slant with Xavier Leggett, and people say, "Well, I think Darius Slay had pass interference." But I was like, well, the ball hit two yards in front of Leggett. So even if there was PI, the ball wasn't even catchable.
Yep.
That's the thing. Like, he dirted the football. And I think he knew it, too. It's like, man, I threw that low. But so, yeah, it's just a couple small plays like that. But I will say this. In the 2-minute, the guy is unfazed.
Exactly.
Unfazed.
Which is I don't want to say is more frustrating, but it is like the challenge of the coaches is how to unlock 2-minute drill Bryce in non-2-minute drill situations. And you can't just run 2-minute drill all the time because your offensive line would have to look like marathoners to do that. Like, you can't run those guys nonstop. You just need to get him to play as well as he does in 2-minute drill and not 2-minute drill, which is a task. Appreciate everybody that called in. Maybe we'll open up the phone lines again later. 919-860-5326. Keep it bookmarked. Heister Automotive Group hotline. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, more Bryce and the football at 4. Stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bryce Young is a different person. He's not even just a different quarterback right now. At the beginning of the year, it looked like he had negative 1,000 in the confidence meter. Now, if you watch the go-ahead touchdown that he threw to Adam Thielen against the Bucs, not only does he throw the ball with confidence, his hands are going up to celebrate before Thielen makes the catch. The confidence is crazy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bobo Bow time. time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bowberry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bow-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bow time.
Hey Raleigh homeowners, this is Keith Gregory, Vice President with Baker Home Exteriors, but more importantly, a homeowner like you. I invite you to join the thousands who have trusted us to service and upgrade their homes. We treat every home as the sanctuary it is, transforming and preserving homes with roofing, siding, doors, decks, and window services for over a century. Trust our expert team for professional installation. Visit bakerroofing.com and schedule a time with our team.
Hey guys, this is Marcy Bailey from Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and we know that you want to get your wife or girlfriend something special this Christmas. But sometimes you just don't know what to get. You wonder, what will she like? What will make her feel special? What will make her say, wow? At Bailey's Fine Jewelry, we have experts that are here to help. We specialize in making you look like a hero. You can even send her in to make a wish list that we keep on file to help make your life just a little bit easier. Bailey's has the largest selection of jewelry in North Carolina, including designers like David Yurman, Lagos, Marco Biccigo, and Ippolita, as well as beautifully curated Bailey's collections. And don't fret, because if for some reason she doesn't love your gift, we have a 30-day return policy. Our goal is to be your go-to jeweler for life. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, located in Raleigh's Village District, Crabtree Valley Mall, and Cary's Fenton. Also in Rocky Mount and Greenville. Every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Homeowners, listen up. Did you know that 9 out of 10 borrowers get a better deal by calling Loan Pronto? Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. The Fed has dropped rates again. The election is over, and Loan Pronto has APRs in the low 5s for refis, debt consolidation, and purchase loans. If your current mortgage rate is over 6% or you are in process with another lender, don't settle. Call Loan Pronto now for a second opinion. Lock in a lower rate today and close in as little as 2 weeks, often with no appraisal. And if you act now, you won't make your first payment till February. This 5-minute call saves homeowners an average of $5,000. Lower rates and lower fees. Get your Loan Pronto rate quote instantly with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Loan Pronto, call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Drive-through car washes are quick, but a mobile detailer gets to the nitty-gritty. AutoBell Car Wash is the sweet spot between both. We quickly clean your car from the inside out to save you time. Get the app at autobell.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Scattered to isolated showers on and off through the afternoon. Temperatures are on the mild side, high of 59. Overnight tonight, we don't drop much. We'll see a low of 51 under cloudy skies and a few isolated showers tomorrow, but warmer with a high of 67 under cloudy skies.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 239 points to 44,402. Market update is brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we hit, I don't know why I went to hut instead of hit. Before we hit Football at 4, We have a little giveaway here. Text keyword ROCK, R-O-C-K, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Keith Urban with Chase Matthew and Alana Springsteen at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 31st. Again, the keyword is ROCK. Text it in to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Keith Urban with Chase Matthew and Alana Springsteen, all happening this May. You can text those in right now. Right now. And if you're driving, wait till you stop driving. Then, right then. That's how it goes. Let's jump into football at 4. And the football at 4 is very simply this. You can say a lot about Bryce Young. You can say you don't like the size. You can say he doesn't complete a high enough percentage of his passes. He hasn't had the big statistical game, the 300-plus, 3-touchdown game you've been looking for. You can say he hasn't dragged the skill set around him up a level as some of the best quarterbacks do. You could complain. You could say you wanted C.J. Stroud. You can complain. You can say you shouldn't have made the trade. You can say a lot negative about Bryce Young. And all of them would come with a different, varying degree of support and evidence behind it. One thing you can't say about Bryce Young is that he is afraid of big moments. He is one of those people, and I think it's hard to judge. I think it's hard to evaluate if anyone is this type of person, but he is one of those people who tends to play their best when the pressure is higher. If he finds himself in close games, clock winding down, needing to score to tie, needing to score to win, needing to drive the length of the field in 1 minute and 17 seconds with 2 timeouts, if he gets himself in those situations, he usually finds himself playing his best football. Against the Eagles over the weekend, it was a very well-played game for the Panthers, right? They stared one of the best teams in the league in the face, and they had a chance to win the game at the end. Bryce Young's stats were not overwhelming. 19 of 35, less than 200 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. That is not necessarily lighting the world on fire. If you wanted to nitpick, you could go in and say, well, there were some drops and some this, and the stats should have been better. Sure. But unless you're going to do that for every quarterback to ever live in every game, we kind of compare them equally. And they've had drops and you've had drops. Bryce didn't have the world-beating game some were hoping for. But when he took over at his own 3-yard line, needing to go the length of the field with less than 3 minutes on the clock, he did enough to win. And that's been a theme of his career. He hasn't always been able to keep games close, but when he does, he likes the moment. Sometimes he's down 30, so you don't really get the pressure-packed moment when you're down 30. But when he's been there, even last year, right? Last year, which was the catastrophic rookie year, and Frank Reich ruined it, and the offensive line stunk, and he had no pass catchers, and we could go on and on and on and on. He had some opportunities for game-winning drives, and he drove down the field and got game-winning field goals as time expired. And then this year, he's done it a bunch of times already, and even the most recent losses, he's walked off the field either tied or winning, right, against the Bucs and Kansas City, took it to overtime. And then this past week, he made the throw that should have won the game. Xavier Legette dropped it, but he made the throw that should have won the game. Bryce Young, when the chips are down, plays his best football, and I don't think you can teach that. So you have to figure out if you can teach the other stuff. Because he's got at least one thing that is not teachable. And I'm already, because I'm this kind of nerd, diving into the upcoming draft. Right? And I'm trying to figure out if there are great quarterbacks in this draft, if there are diamonds in the rough in this draft. I'm looking at running backs. I'm looking at receivers, right? I'm looking at the positions that most closely relate to the position I played in college because I like to fancy myself some kind of a knowledgeable person there. So I'm looking at these players, and you get the gut feeling on some of them. And it's not their fault. It's not their – I don't know if there's anything you can do to train it. But you watch someone like Quinn Ewers at Texas, and I'm like, you know what? He's a very modern quarterback. He has the whippy baseball style arm motion. He was a top recruit. He's playing for one of the best teams in the country in Texas. He's utilizing, and there's a lot to like, but there's just that one empty feeling at the end of games where you're just like, I don't know if he blinks enough when the game's on the line, right? It looks like he's wired when the game's on the line, right? He takes a hit and he looks a little scattered in a 2-minute drill. It's just that I don't know if he has it. You watch Bryce Young as a Panther, and you're like, you know what? I don't really like his footwork early in games. Or you know what? I don't know. He puts a lot of touch, a lot of arc on his passes, and I think I want him to drive it more. You have legitimate football concerns, but then you get to the end of a game and it's close, and you're like, ooh, this is different. This is a confident player. This is a player who doesn't shy away from these moments. And I think it's easier to teach somebody to put a little bit more heat on his touch passes than it is to teach somebody to be not nervous in big moments. Now, there are very few, but there are some darn near perfect prospects, right? Players who you're just confident, they have all the physical tools, they have the right mindset, they play well in clutch moments, and those guys are special. Everyone else, you have to pick which deficiencies you think you can solve. You have to pick which things you think you can coach out of them. And I think usually, if given the choice, I'm going to take the guy that has the clutch moments, and I'm going to try to teach him the rest or whatever else they have to learn, rather than taking someone who looks great in shorts and a T-shirt and can make every physical play and looks great in the first quarter but then crumbles in the fourth, because I don't know how you teach the game-winning drive thing. I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's a book out there to teach it. From a more football standpoint, do you know what I like about Bryce Young against the Eagles? He was much more confident of a runner. He's starting to notice, hey, I can pick up this first down on the ground. I don't have to force a throw, and it's a successful play. And he's getting so confident that down there on the goal line, he tried the stanky leg, hezzy, like Devin Hester juke. I don't even know what to describe that. Tried the jump in the air, pause, go. That's not your game, Bryce, but I love that you were confident enough to try it.
Got the swagger for it.
Kind of got smacked around a little bit there, stood up laughing, which I liked as well. But he's taken positive steps in a bunch of different ways. Dave Canales talked about his quarterback after the game.
Yeah, just making plays. Again, another day of being decisive. There was a nice throwaway in field goal range early on, where he the concept was covered and he made a quick decision and was able to get us to where we could get, a little bit closer in that one. And then just extending plays. There were some great effort plays by Bryce today, just getting out of, rushers or different things that were happening in the pocket, keeping his eyes down the field and finding throws. So, again, just the operation and all that stuff was great. I can do a better job of getting him plays in a little bit sooner. On a couple of those, I had to take a timeout. Those are things where I can just, if I'm between two plays, just go with his order. We know he loves certain plays. Just give it to him quicker, and we can operate there.
That was Dave Canales post-game. I do also want to just put the stakes out there for Bryce. Right? The question keeps coming in for next year. He's kind of playing for his job. And Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network talked about the future of Bryce in Carolina.
Remember, they were 0-2, benched Bryce Young, the Carolina Panthers did, and I think everyone in the world assumed, well, that's over. Not over. In fact, now that he is back in the lineup, has gone 2-2, and really, from my understanding, gone a long way in showing this Panthers organization why they took him number 1 overall. He's getting in and out of the huddle better. He is diagnosing defenses better, and simply, he is playing better. As far as the future goes, from what I understand, do not expect the Carolina Panthers to draft a quarterback early next year. It does seem, if Bryce Young continues to progress as he's been, that he has earned the opportunity to be their starter next year, and everyone hopes beyond.
I hope Bryce can realize that's a little bit of pressure, right? If you play better under pressure, maybe he's one of the few that you don't try to downplay that. You tell him, hey, how you play can decide if you're still a starter next year. ramp up the pressure. Maybe he plays better. I don't know. For right now, celebrate the positive steps. At some point, Bryce will have to take those positive steps and turn it into like a 24 for 32, 300 yards, 3-touchdown day. Haven't seen that yet. But until you do, just celebrate the positive steps. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the ladder challenge coming up. We have the podium coming up. We have some UNC basketball talk coming up. But first, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And, of course, that means Gordon Miller, who's been doing no closing cost loans since 1987. Holiday season's coming up. You know what that means, right? Everybody's going to be spending money. You got to get presents for everybody. You want to pay attention to your dough. Well, the best way to pay attention to your dough is to worry about the payments that happen every month, right? You can save up for spending at the holidays. It's the recurring payments that'll get you. And Miller Lending wants to make sure your monthly payment when it comes to your mortgage is as low as it possibly can be, and also has the potential to be lower in the future. They do a no closing cost loan, which allows you to take advantage of dips in interest rates whenever they happen, right? If you sign up for your mortgage today and rates drop tomorrow, refinance, no money out of your pocket, no costs and fees, zero means zero. And if 2 months they drop again, do it again. Get that monthly payment as low as it possibly can be, and that's where you can really save some money, right? And still go nuts and, get the kids what they want for the holidays. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Oh, sorry, got to give you the numbers there. The phone number to call for Miller Lending, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. You can also visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. Now we'll take that break, and we'll come back with the ladder challenge and see if Dennis can't start a heater once again as we battle it out. A little gambling challenge next.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bryce Young is a different person. He's not even just a different quarterback right now. At the beginning of the year, it looked like he had negative 1,000 in the confidence meter. Now, if you watch the go-ahead touchdown that he threw to Adam Thielen against the Bucs, not only does he throw the ball with confidence, his hands are going up to celebrate before Thielen makes the catch. The confidence is crazy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Terms and conditions apply.
Fruitcake! You shouldn't have. Wow, a candle.
Spread joy, not junk, with the Autobell Car Wash Holiday Sale. Visit Autobell to buy one Super Poly Process Wash and get one 40% off.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I call games in Seattle and around the country, but I still spend a lot of time right here in the Triangle. When I'm here to see my family around the holidays, we always head to Buffalo Brothers. It's my go-to spot for stocking stuffers. Now through December 24th, buy a $40 gift card for someone special and get a $10 gift card for you. Now that's a deal, baby. Visit any of their 5 locations at buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Here's Megan with Parkway Sleep Centers.
Are sleepless nights affecting your life? Parkway Sleep Health Centers can help. We've treated sleep disorders in the Triangle and beyond for over 20 years. We offer sleep studies, office visits, CPAP machines, supplies, and more. And our streamlined process allows us to see you sooner and usually saves hundreds of dollars.
End sleep problems. Live your best life. Experience the Parkway Sleep difference. Visit parkwaysleep.com and start your journey to better sleep today. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep.
sound health.
Dauntless Transmissions in Raleigh is hiring. If you're an ASE certified automotive technician looking to make good money, have a guaranteed 40-hour work week, and get paid every Friday, check out this opportunity. Dauntless Transmissions is a small family-owned shop with a quality-first attitude in need of technicians with experience doing minor engine work. Happy to train the right candidate further on transmissions. If you're ready to be appreciated and duly compensated for your automotive abilities, call or apply now at dauntlesstransmissions.com.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. It's Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. Get 50% off all styles of windows and a bonus 10% off, plus you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Sale ends December 31st, so book a quote at 866-90Nation or at windownation.com.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single-line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at tryethos.com. That's tryethos.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. For the YouTube crowd that can't hear the music, that's the headbanging. I got to remind myself. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Both Dennis and I last week lost our ladder challenge. Our streaks were similar. I think he had gone like 20 to 30 days without making a mistake. I'd gone 2. But that meant we started over and we get to go the month of December in a true ladder challenge deal. Did you win yours last week?
I did.
Okay, so we've gotten 1. We got a streak of 1. We should keep track.
Let's go.
I had an easy winner on Calvin Ridley over 40 receiving yards. I actually kind of like even more when it doesn't go your way and you still win. Like Calvin Ridley had a terrible day. His quarterback got hurt. These are all ways that you lose a bet, but he still had 59 yards, even though the Titans absolutely stink. So I feel good about my pick. Nailed it. Dennis, what happened for you? I'm guessing it was a hockey shots on goal. And
it was. Kirill Kaprizov in a 5-1 win for the Minnesota Wild. All I needed was 2+ shots on goal.
There it is.
Totally crushed it.
Today, what are you going with?
That's a great question. You know me. I do not put very much research into these things. We're quite opposite when it comes to these things.
So do you want me to let it rock here for a little bit?
Yeah, go. You know what? Actually, I'm going to do one right now. I'm literally just going to go ahead and make my decision right now. Tage Thompson, Buffalo Sabres, they're playing the Detroit Red Wings. They're at home. Tage Thompson shoots the puck a lot. Detroit, not that good. 2+ shots on goal. Tage Thompson, $11.30 will win me a grand total of $13.
$13.
That's all the research I did.
All right.
That's how I went on a heater.
I'm looking at to win 14 because I think I was up to 12 or something last week. To win 14, Jamar Chase over 40 receiving yards tonight versus the Cowboys.
They'll have that on the first play.
There's a good chance. The Cowboys stink. I literally have that. I have that in my notes. The Cowboys stink as part of. I do a lot of research. Sometimes I'm doing the research and then I summarize it.
Yeah.
The Cowboys stink is in there. Also, the Bengals have nothing but their reputation to play for this year, right? They've scored like 40 and lost. When Josh Allen put up the ridiculous numbers he did this week and still lost, I thought, I wonder if Joe Burrow sent him a text. Like, hey, buddy, we've been there. Because Joe Burrow has some bananas games where they've lost this year. So really all Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are playing for is like their reputation and stats. So I think they'll be hunting a bit tonight. Also, because I do too much research, I went back and looked up every single Jamar Chase primetime game. He's played in 12 Monday, Sunday, or Thursday night games in his career. The Bengals had 2 that he was out with an injury a couple years ago. But in 12 career primetime games, Jamar Chase has 86 catches for 1,196 yards and 10 touchdowns, which averages out to a little over 7 catches per game, 100 yards per game, and 0.83 touchdowns per game, which basically means if Jamar Chase only played in primetime, he'd be on pace to be the greatest receiver to ever live. So I think he's a kind of a primetime player, if you will. Thus, over 40 receiving yards against the Cowboys, I feel pretty good about.
Once again, you put way more research into this than I do.
It's
mine's all about 60 seconds.
Well, I did all that in like 40 seconds.
Oh, did you?
I did. I went and counted every single primetime game. I looked up the schedules. I cross-referenced. It was like 30 seconds of work. That's what I tell myself. I didn't sit there for 10 minutes earlier today at my desk, locked and loaded. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the ladder challenge. We'll see if we can both pull off the win. Right now, it's time for the podium. It's time for the podium. The way the podium works, every week, every Monday, we look at the 4 ACC teams from the state of North Carolina, and we rank their last week. Someone gets the gold, someone gets the silver, someone gets the bronze, someone gets nothing. They're off the podium. It is a 1-week award. It is not cumulative. So this is who was best this week. For right now, there is a little overlap because it's still football and basketball season. Once football is donezo, it'll be just a basketball award, just like earlier in football season, it was just a football award. We'll start with off the podium, as we often do. UNC, off the podium. We're going to go in deeper to this. There is legitimate reasons to be finding the panic button for UNC men's basketball. They lost to number 10 Alabama. That's not a huge problem. But they lost to them 94-79, and it didn't even feel that close. You're supposed to be a top 10 team. You're not supposed to look like a team that's far and away worse than the 10th team in the country. They beat Georgia Tech. That right there, that's good. You won by 3, and it was a one-possession game multiple times in the last minute, and you needed your freshmen to knock down free throws to keep it that way. That's not as good. And the football team was assigned to the Fenway Bowl, which is good. I mean, I think playing football in Fenway would be cool.
That would be kind of neat.
But you're playing against UConn, so it's kind of a home game for UConn. It's kind of a little bit of a bad break, right? UConn in Fenway in Massachusetts just seems like
same area, yeah.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a different experience. And Aiden Banfield, who's your stud freshman offensive lineman, at points in time, he was one of the highest-ranked offensive linemen of any position in the country for true freshmen. He's in the portal as of today. So I think that pretty much guarantees you're not going to have Omarion Hampton in that one, because if you're Omarion Hampton, you probably didn't want to go anyway, but you're definitely not going with backup linemen. So rough day for UNC.
That's right. Transfer portal officially opened today.
Yep. And if you are like me and you follow a bunch of different college football reporters, it's every time you refresh, it's someone from somewhere going into the portal, scheduling a visit, thinking through their options. Apparently a stud wide receiver from Georgia Tech is like already visiting Georgia. That seems like a slap in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, do what's best for you, don't get me wrong, but couldn't go to a team outside the state. Anyway, UNC off the podium. We'll talk about their basketball team more in just a few minutes. Bronze goes to Wake Forest. They lost to Texas A&M. Fine, they're a ranked team. Wake Forest has had some struggles early. Beat Boston College, I wouldn't say by enough, 72-66. And then really the reason why they fall into bronze is of the 4 teams we rank here, they're the only one that didn't get the bowl notification. Why? Because they're not bowl eligible. They don't even get to send their third string after the first 2 strings opt out to some remote location to play against a team they have no history with. They don't even get a bad bowl. Wake Forest, bronze. Silver, NC State, the Wolfpack. Basketball team, I would say, is similar to the first. It's actually kind of ironic. UNC lost to a game that's, I would say, socially acceptable to lose. Good program. Then they beat a team in the ACC. Wake Forest lost to a team that I would say is socially acceptable to lose. Right? Good program. Then they beat a team in the ACC. NC State lost to Texas. That's a team that I would say it's socially acceptable to lose to. Good program. And then beat a team in the ACC. So they're all very similar. They beat Florida State in overtime. So the final score looks better than it actually was, right? Obviously, tied at regulation, they end up winning by 10. Then their football team was assigned to the Military Bowl versus ECU. So the reason why I put NC State a bit higher is because they have the bowl game. That was the tiebreaker against Wake. They had a Florida State's a better program to beat in the ACC. And on top of that, I like the ECU matchup.
It is weird that they're playing each other up in Annapolis.
I kind of like it.
I know, but I'm thinking, you know what? We were joking myself, and Graham Hill were joking in the cubicles area before today. It's like, you know what? Why don't they just meet in neutral site? Why don't they just meet in Rocky Mount? You know, just go play the game there, make it neutral site, just have a massive tailgate between the two fan bases, and have yourself a good time.
I'll tell you what, I don't care where the game is being played. You get NC State and ECU together, there's going to be a good tailgate.
Oh, let's call this the tailgate bowl. Let's go, people.
Annapolis, they'll it'll be all the same fixins, just like a crab cake also, and then call it an Annapolis special. There'll be some good stuff going on there. Gold, this one was easy, and I want to say they're on a 3 or 4 week stretch.
This is the same podium as last week, by the way.
Well, I didn't know that, so it wasn't intentional, but it makes sense. Duke's gold. Men's basketball beat number 2 Auburn.
Yep.
Did you see the AP poll update? The men's basketball AP poll gets updated on Monday. Duke's up to number 4.
Okay.
First time they're in the top 5 since the beginning of last season.
Yeah.
Auburn's still 2. That didn't make any sense. How does Duke go from what were they, 12 or something like that, up to 4 for beating Auburn, and Auburn doesn't even get a knock? Duke also beat Louisville 76-65. Was a little touch and go there for a while, but they ended up pulling away. And the football team gets to play the Ole Miss running Rebels in the Gator Bowl. Do you know what I like about that for the bowl assignments? I think Ole Miss might have a lot of opt-outs.
Yeah.
Duke's hunting for a 10-win season. If Jackson Dart and Trey Harris and some of these guys opt out, Duke seems very committed, right? They're very win this for Duke. If they don't have many opt-outs and Ole Miss does, you could be in a nice little spot to pick up your 10th win of the season. History will not write. They beat Ole Miss for their 10th win, but also they were playing Ole Miss's 3rd and 4th string. The history will not say that. It'll just say they got their 10th win. But anyway, Duke, gold. Silver, NC State, bronze, Wake. Off the podium, the University of North Carolina. Largely because I think the UNC basketball fans are finding the panic button just to know where it is. Let's end the podium. Let's focus in on UNC basketball. I said this earlier today, and I'm going to say it again because I think it's hilarious. Dennis, I saw a meme, so I'm going to assume that it's 100% true online. It said,
of course.
It said in Norway, right? So there's no way I could check this.
Sure.
A common response to how's it going in Norway is Norwegian a language?
Yes.
Okay. There's a Norwegian phrase that loosely translates to, I'll tell you what it says in American, but it's like if someone walks by and goes, hey, how's it going? A popular Norwegian phrase translates to up and not crying.
Okay.
So you're walking in the hall like, hey, how's it going? And I'm awake and I'm not crying is basically a Norwegian phrase. To me, that's UNC fans right now. Like, what can you say about your basketball team? Hey, we've won all the games we should win, and we're not crying. Like, we're awake, we have a pulse, and we're not crying. I'm not going to go any further than that. I'm not going to say happy. I'm not going to say excited. I'm not going to say, hey, today is great. I'm not going to give the stereotypical living the dream, right? Can't complain. I'm not giving any of that. I'm saying I'm up and I'm not crying. You are awake and there are no tears in your eyes, but that's it. And you darn sure aren't going full hardball and attacking the day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. You are just awake and there. You've lost to all 3 ranked teams you've played. You lost to Michigan State in the only other non-conference power conference game you've played. You have 5 wins, which have come against Elon, American University, Hawaii, Dayton, and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech picked to finish 12th in the ACC. And the Dayton and Georgia Tech wins came down to the wire. Like, you're winning the games you should be winning, but some of them are way closer. and you're losing every game that's not an obvious win. And do you know why I'm locating the panic button? You know, I try, and it's one of my kind of like core tenets because it's a pet peeve of mine when others get snuck up on. I try not to be surprised by the calendar, right? I hate when people are like, oh my gosh, it's December 9th already? I'm like, yeah, well, yesterday was December 8th. What'd you think was going to happen? Like, oh, you know, it's December already? I'm like, did you not have all the days in November that the rest of us had to prepare for December? So I try not to be surprised by the calendar, but we all do, right? It's about to be 2025. Do you know how many times at the top of my paper I'm going to write 2024? Like, it happens. But also, like, we're 9 games for UNC into their basketball season. You only play, what, like 24 regular season games? 34 regular season games? Am I saying that wrong? I'm pretty sure I did the math correct. You can double check me on this. 29% of their regular season games have been played.
Yeah, you're close to hitting the 1/3 mark.
Exactly. Thank you. I don't know why I had a real crisis of confidence there. I was much less confident than the research I had done. You've played 29% of your regular season games. How long until you start to be worried that RJ Davis is shooting 24% from 3? How long until you're worried that you really haven't figured out the style of play that works best for your roster when it comes to defending the opposing team's bigs and finding ways to rebound, or on the reverse, taking advantage of them having a big on the floor and you going small ball? Like there's a certain part of me, and I've said this for the last probably 2 weeks, that wants to go, RJ Davis will figure it out. He's too good not to. And to say this lineup will figure out the way they can play that won't get killed by opposing teams having big traditional bigs, like you know, that they'll be too athletic not to figure it out. But now you're coming up on like 20, the 30, the 35% of your season being done, and you still haven't done it. Where's the point where we go from, oh, it'll happen, oh, they'll figure it out, oh, they're too good not to like, actually, you know what? I'm pretty worried they haven't. Like, a win over Georgia Tech is great. A win by 3 over Georgia Tech for a team that was top 10 in the country in the preseason polls, that's an issue. Right? If you're playing, like we talked about earlier, you're playing Kansas like they did earlier in the year, and they have Hunter Dickinson, and it's a tough game, and it's going to be national, and it's early in the season, and you lose, it's like, all right, yeah, it's fine. You had a dramatic comeback in the second half. I'm not worried about it. They have a big, that's a bad matchup. Hopefully you won't face someone with a multiple-time All-American 7-footer in the NCAA tournament. Maybe you can dodge Kansas. You can't dodge like a team as good as Georgia Tech. You're going to face at least 6 of them in the NCAA tournament that are as good as Georgia Tech. And you know, unless you play in the first 4, you only play 6 games. RJ Davis is shooting 24% from 3. I keep coming back to this. Maybe there was something last season with the way that they were built with Armando Bacot and Harrison Ingram that was giving him better shots that he's not getting now. Or maybe it's just a shooting slump. But Hubert Davis has to figure it out, and that the veterans have to figure it out. If not, I'm going to start leaning heavier and heavier into my take that Ian Jackson and Drake Powell should be more featured parts of that offense and more featured parts of the game plan. They're good. And I get seniority to an extent. Right? I've been in a college sports locker room where, you know, coaches want to reward the senior who's done things the right way, or the junior or the sophomore that's sacrificed earlier in their career and waited their turn, and you feel like, all right, they should be getting the usage. But everyone in that locker room can look around and go, well, I get it, but the young kid can go, right? Like, let's not cost victories here.
We actually did see on Saturday, we did see Drake Powell start. Jalen Withers came off the bench, as did Jalen Washington. You saw Van Allen Lubin actually starting in those spots as well. So you're starting to see some of the young guys get a little bit more playing time, at least early on in the games, at least rewarded with starting. And Ian Jackson actually played 27 minutes off the bench as well.
Drake Powell started, played 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Van Allen Lubin played 16 minutes. So Jalen Washington and Jalen Withers off the bench still played as many, if not more, minutes than any bigs on the team.
I know Lubin got into foul trouble. We ended up fouling out in that game.
True. And there are moments where Drake Powell gets a little like. I look at this, and for especially Drake Powell and Ian Jackson, I go, you could let them work out some of the rust, or rust is the wrong word, so like early jitters of their career, right? Because they're not going to be perfect. Or you can have guys who are veterans make similar mistakes and not get the benefit of the young guys getting better. It's a really tough situation. This is the challenge for Hubert Davis. Let me word this in a way that I think will be more apt to what I'm trying to say. There is a fine line between sticking to your guns and understanding, like, no, when I've evaluated these guys over years, right? I know what they can do. I'm going to stick to my guns and let them prove me right. There's a fine line between that and just being stubborn and just not changing for not changing's sake and not adapting for not adapting's sake. And knowing where that line is one of the toughest things in coaching. Knowing where because like you go into a season with a plan, right? Don't, like every coach does. This is how I see this roster playing. These are the guys I see being my main contributors. These are the guys I see being my sparks off the bench. These are the guys who I hope I don't have to rely on because they need more time to marinate, and hopefully they'll be contributors next year. Like, you have this whole grand scheme, and you go into a season and it might not work at first, and you're going like, no, I put a lot of time into that plan. I believe in my evaluations. We're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it. We're going to stick with it. But there is a point where you're like, you know what? I may have been wrong on the plan. We need to try something new here. And you don't want to do it too early, and you can't afford to do it too late. It's very much the double dutch thing where, right? You ever seen someone jump in on double dutch where they're like, now? They're like moving back and forth, and then eventually they're in. And you got to pick the right time or else you're going to catch a jump rope to the face. That's what Hubert Davis is doing now. Do I change things? Do I change things? Do I change things? No, not yet. Not yet. And he's right there. At a certain point, maybe a week or two, it's going to be now. And you're going to have to jump on some changes and see if you can't get it fixed because you don't want to wait too long. Waiting too long is a wasted season. By the way, UNC fell out of the AP top 25 in the update today. And they're kind of way down there.
Not surprised.
They're also receiving votes, but they're not in the top 5 also receiving votes. Like they're down the ways. I didn't count, but
I'm not gonna lie, I'm surprised they even receive votes.
Yeah, they're still North Carolina.
I know, they're still North Carolina, but call it what it is. They've not played well.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And I think maybe starting Drake Powell and having Washington and Withers both coming off the bench is part of that shakeup. Now, Drake Powell did not score in the 15 minutes.
Not enough attempts.
I don't know. It just wasn't playing that well overall. But it's the lack. I said it last week. The lack of versatility in their lineup is killing them right now.
And it's crazy because you would think without a traditional big, they should be able to switch everything and they should be able to do things that make it difficult on the opponent. And it's really not working out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we go from UNC basketball to UNC football. Will Bill Belichick be the next head coach of the Tar Heels? Should he be? We ask all the questions coming up.
Total Wine & More has your holiday gift. Bourbon for Dad, Cabernet for your sis, champagne for a co-worker, the world's greatest wines. With free curbside pickup, save money and time. Winter liqueurs like peppermint cream turn a festive cocktail into a holiday dream. Now that's a low price you'll shout out with glee when you shop Total Wine for them and for me.
Curbside pickup and delivery available and the lowest prices for over 30 years only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Stop letting high interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Hey, it's Dennis Cox from my friends at Loan Pronto. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven tech to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
The holidays are happening at Diamonds Direct. Still rushing to finish your holiday shopping? Don't worry, we've got you covered. This weekend only, it's our last chance sale with 20% off virtually everything. Earrings, bracelets, pendants, and more. Plus special financing options up to 5 years. But don't wait, this is your final opportunity to find the perfect gift at the best value before the holidays. Plus special designer appearances. Visit us during extended holiday hours or shop online and pick up in store. Our 20% off last chance sale ends Sunday. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com.
Adam Gold here, and it's time to tackle the NFL on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. And right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, so much more. Same page where you place your bets as well. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Join today. FanDuel.com/AdamGold will get you started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 wager. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. UNC still doesn't have a football coach, which means the next UNC head football coach still might be Bill Belichick. And by the minute, it's becoming more plausible in my brain. It's part of me, part of me thinks this is all some kind of ruse. Okay, I'm just going to throw it out there. You're telling me a 6-time Super Bowl champion coach who is 73 years old is willing and possibly going to take over a college football program and want to put in all that work? Part of me thinks, and I just want this on the record in case it happens, like 2 days from now, Pat McAfee is going to go like, gotcha, and y'all fell for it. Ha ha ha. Coach Belichick gotcha. Because it's like I'm starting to believe it. I'm starting to believe that Bill Belichick is going to be the next head coach of UNC. You're starting to see other candidates kind of bow out. John Summerall from Tulane signed a contract extension with Tulane to stay, so he's kind of out of the running. You're hearing more and more about Belichick talking with UNC multiple times for longer periods of times. It doesn't feel like a stunt, which is making my antennas go stunt. They're getting you. Don't fall for it. I also want to clear something up because I've been now advocating for the Bill Belichick hire for UNC now for, what did we tell, like a half a week, something like that?
A few days.
I think the ceiling is worth the effort. I had somebody jump in my email actually and just say, this is a dumpster fire. It's a terrible hire. It'll be a complete failure. He's not going to recruit. He's not going to do all these things. I want to be clear. Yeah, possible. It could be an utter and complete failure. This could be like the biggest swing ever and just whiff and the bat wraps around your neck and smacks you in the forehead. Like it could be a massive swing and a miss. But I want to throw this out there. Most coaching hires are colossal failures. Most of them are. Most coaches end with the school buying out a contract for an exorbitant amount of money. Look around college football. How many like Kirby Smarts and Dabo Sweeneys do you see where you win multiple national championships and you're hanging out and you're going to be winning conference championships and staying as long as you want? There aren't but a handful of them in the last 20 years. Most hires are not good hires. Even the ones that seem to work out, they leave you for a better job. They bounce. They like you can have fond memories, but most are failures. I'm going to go full Have you heard the Jim Carrey thing about why he went into show business?
No.
It's very famous. I'm not the only, like, it's his story, but he's told that enough places. I feel like I can relive it. Jim Carrey talks about watching his dad, and his dad was hilarious, and he could tell that his dad wanted to be on stage, right? It's Jim Carrey's dad. It makes sense. And anytime they had friends over, he was the performer. But his dad, I think, was an accountant. Because his dad was like, that's going to be the safe thing, provide for my family, right? It's the smart decision. So his dad was an accountant. Or maybe even like an actuary, something like a very, very safe down the middle job. And then one day, Jim Carrey came home and his dad had been laid off from his very safe, very like, I did the smart thing. I got the good degree, and he was laid off. And he said, my dad was never really the same. And it's Jim Carrey saying this, so again, not me. And he goes, and in that moment, he recognized you can fail doing the conservative thing too, right? You can fail without chasing your dreams, and you can still be just disappointed in how it turns out. So you might as well swing for the stars. And that's why he was like, I'm going to try to do this comedy thing. I'm going to try to be a performer. And he ended up being Jim Carrey, the highest paid movie star in the world, multiple years over. That was the lesson he took away. I kind of look at it the same way with coaching hires. You could go find a solid group of 5 coach who's had success in the Sun Belt or in the American or somewhere in the MAC, and you can take a guy that is like he's done it right, and you can find the conservative, smart coaching hire because that's who you want to run your program, and even that coach can fail. Look at what happened with Nebraska and Scott Frost. Scott Frost is now back at UCF. They went and got a coach that turned around UCF, turned him into a mythical national championship team, and they played for Nebraska, and everything added up, and they brought him in, and it was a colossal failure, and they paid him a boatload of money to leave. UNC could go find that guy. They could go get Monken from Army. They could go find if Summerall Tulane wanted to do it, they could go find one of these guys. Or you could go get Bill Belichick. You can fail with the conservative option, so why not go with the guy who could level up your program exponentially? Bill Belichick was on the Pat McAfee show talking earlier today and talking about how what his college football program would look like under him if he were a head coach. Dennis, go ahead and play a clip.
The college program would be a pipeline to the NFL for the players that had the ability to play in the NFL. It would be a professional program, training, nutrition, scheme, coaching, techniques that would transfer to the NFL. It would be an NFL program at a college level and an education that would get the players ready for their career after football, whether that was the end of their college career or at the end of their pro career. But it would be, geared toward, developing the player, time management, discipline, structure, and all that would be life skills, regardless of whether they're in the NFL or in somewhere in business. And I feel very confident that I have the contacts in the National Football League to pave the way for those players that would have the ability to have the opportunity to compete in the National Football League. Whether they're good enough or not, I don't know, but they would be ready for it. I don't have any doubt about that.
That is something that the other candidates would not be able to offer. Let's say you hire Todd Monken from Army, and you're recruiting against your crosstown rival NC State. Somebody has both offers. You've offered scholarships from NC State and UNC together. And Todd Monken's pitch, what is his pitch going to be? Well, here's how much NIL money we can make work. We're talking about it like a portal player. Here's how much NIL money we can make work, and we run a football-first program, and we care about you as humans, and we're going to do everything we can to develop you, and we run this style of offense and this style of defense, and it's the same thing that every other coach is going to be able to say. That's what your rival's going to say, right? Hey, we care here, we develop you, Bill Belichick is going to be able to say, listen, I will get you ready for the NFL. And it's not me just saying we'll develop you as a player. I'm going to tell you I have more connections in the NFL than maybe any other human walking this planet. If you're a tight end, I'm going to have you zoom in with Gronk. If you're an offensive lineman, I'm going to have you zoom in with Matt Light. And I'm going to have you zoom in with studs. It could flame out. I want that to be clear. I am not saying this is a 100% awesome hire. Maybe Bill Belichick is doing this completely as a Trojan horse just to get his son the head coaching job, and he's going to take the job, retire after 1 year doing no work, and Steve Belichick's going to take over. Maybe. But do you think he's going to completely abandon Steve Belichick? If Bill Belichick is doing this just to get Steve Belichick the job, which some are worried about, right? Hey, if you hire me, you have to commit to my replacement being my son. If that's the case, do you think Bill Belichick's going to tank the program? Or do you think he's going to do everything he can to increase the program to make it better so his son will have success? The more and more I think about it, the more and more I think I like it. And also, and I've said this before, it's wildly important to be good starting 5 to 10 years from now. Because once that ACC media grant of right starts coming up and the other conferences start having their media deals expire, there's going to be some clubs that you want invites to. And if Bill Belichick ramps up your program for the next 5 years, and 5 years from now, their media rights deals are coming up and schools start planning the super conferences, you want them to be like, absolutely, bring UNC with us. They got the Belichicks. When the cool kids get together and start planning the future of college football, you want to be invited, and to do that, you need to be good over the next 5-10 years. And I think Belichick, it's Bill Belichick. If this is a prank, I want to say I sniffed it out. If it's not a prank, I think you do it. Assuming that you can get a contract that makes sense and all that, the business side of thing has to add up as well.
Definitely a ton of appeal about it. That's for sure.
It's absurd.
I remember I was sitting in for Adam Gold on Friday. I said, "When's the last time you saw UNC football talked about this on a national scale?"
Just because you interviewed him. Imagine how much buzz you'd get if that first press conference. And Victoria Vodnecker on the Adam Gold Show brought it up earlier today. I don't care when you announce the hiring. If you do, you better have a team store sawed-off hoodie. The cut-off hoodie.
Yes!
You better and take all that money and give it to players.
Yes. Victoria and I on Friday, we said, we're doing this. I said, we get royalties for anyone that comes up with this. It says you get cut-off gray hoodies.
Yep.
That say Chapel Bill and UNC Blue. In Carolina Blue. But Chapel Bill.
We're on to Chapel Hill.
We're on to Chapel Bill. We're on to Chapel Hill. Whatever it is.
There's a lot to get.
There's just say Chapel Bill. We want royalties for whomever does that.
What's the student-athlete version of do your job? Do your schoolwork.
Yeah. Go to your room.
Do your job, but you're not an employee. But you kind of are now. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have the starting five coming up next, bowl assignments to get to, and the most ridiculous-looking contract in the history of sports. Stick around.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
Bryce Young is a different person. He's not even just a different quarterback right now. At the beginning of the year, it looked like he had negative 1,000 in the confidence meter. Now, if you watch the go-ahead touchdown that he threw to Adam Thielen against the Bucs, not only does he throw the ball with confidence, his hands are going up to celebrate before Thielen makes the catch. The confidence is crazy.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. 'Tis the season for food and family, but thanks to Bojangles, you don't have to spend hours in the kitchen when loved ones come home for the holidays. Set down the spatula and put away the mixing bowls, because this holiday season, Bojangles is ready to help you celebrate with all your family favorites like Chicken Supreme, Cajun Filet Biscuits, or a big bow box of hand-breaded chicken, scratch-made biscuits, and fixins for the whole family. We'll make the food so you can focus on making memories. Head to Bojangles and gift yourself a taste of home. It's bow time.
If it's ho-ho-ho time, it's Bo-Bo-Bo time. Time to order a party-sized platter of that bodacious Bojangles flavor before your next holiday celebration. Choose a Bojangles Supremes platter and get 50 whole breast tenderloin fillets. Or go with a Bojangles dessert platter and get 2 dozen Bo-Berry biscuits, 2 dozen cinnamon twists, or 1 dozen of each. It's a platter full of Bo-liciousness. And don't forget to pick up Bojangles gift cards. Just the right gift for anyone on your list. Hurry, it's Bo time.
Are you looking for the perfect holiday gift? Did you know that Bailey's has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for our designer jewelry, fine diamonds, and luxury watches, but we also have a vast selection of beautiful jewelry and gifts under $500. You can make a piece of our Bailey's collection yours this Christmas. Add a little sparkle with the popular Icon Collection Tiny Diamond Hoops in either white, rose, or yellow gold for $395. For only $250, check out our beautiful Sterling Collection Diamonds by the Yard bracelet. Or select one of our Bailey's perfect layering necklaces. For $325, our Goldmark Station necklace, or for only $275, our Icon Puffed Heart pendant. We're celebrating over 75 years of making holiday gifting easy. You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey box under the tree.
Will you make the right call? Time's running out, pressure's on, and you need your roof replaced. Hi, I'm Holly from RoofWorks. It's 4th and goal, and the decision's in your hands. The competition can't stop you. You're about to score the game winner. We've trained for years for this moment to raise the roof for you. So avoid the noise and put us in the game. Call RoofWorks today or visit us online at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Introducing a product that redefines living well.
Luxury.
Designed to satisfy your wildest desires.
Extravagance.
Overflowing with suspense, dripping with wealth.
Fortune.
The $8 million moneymaker from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With prizes that start at $100 and go up to $8 million. Every win's a big win.
Whisper.
Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.14. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State. This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on the radio, Instagram, TikTok, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Plenty of clouds tonight. We have a chance for showers overnight. The low temperature 51. Keep the rain gear handy tomorrow, especially in the afternoon as rain chances increase up to 60%. Tomorrow's high temperature up to around 70.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones this afternoon at the closing bell down 240 points to 44,401. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Monday. A lot to react to, so let's jump into it. Starting with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
It's bowl season in college football. The bowl assignments came out over the weekend. As far as the teams in the triangle, UNC versus UConn in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl, East Carolina versus NC State in the Go Bowling Military Bowl, and Duke versus Ole Miss in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Can I have one request of the bowls across the country?
Okay.
Can we get sponsors that make sense with the name of the bowl? The Wasabi Fenway Bowl? Like that?
Yeah.
Remember like how awesome the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl used to be perfect? Like it's I also maybe rename the bowl if it's going to be the Wasabi, like make it something food related. I don't know. Like Go Bowling Military Bowl? What does bowling have to do with the military?
Well, you are going bowling in a bowl game.
But I think Go Bowling is like, I think it's a website about bowling.
Oh, I know.
Okay, I didn't know that. You made
do a little play on words there.
Tax Slayer Gator Bowl?
I mean, that should just be the barbecue tailgate bowl. Let's be real. ECU versus NC State. Graham Hill joked in the cubicle earlier. So you know what? If you want to play, a game at a foot or in a baseball stadium, play the game at 5 County Stadium out there in Zebulon between ECU and NC State. Just do a massive tailgate out there. Make it happen. No one's got to worry about traveling for hotels or anything like that. Just show up on game day. Have yourself a time.
When I was in college, Delaware played Towson every year, and we used to do other people used to do a relay of the game ball.
Okay.
It would start at the away team, and you would run, they would literally run like down the highway, and governors and stuff would do it, and you deliver the game ball to the opposing team. I'm thinking for ECU and NC State, you deliver like a barbecue sandwich, and you run and you meet in the middle, and then you just have a little buffet.
Just have a pig picking.
You just got to run with like a loose one-hand sandwich the whole way. As far as the bowl games go, UNC, Aiden Banfield is in the portal. One of their best offensive linemen, a freshman that started a bunch of games, gave up like no pressure. I would just get ready for opt-outs, get ready for the transfer portal. Here's the one issue. There's a lot of issues with the transfer portal, let's be clear. But the one issue I have with the transfer portal that I'm going to highlight right now is I don't know what some of these players are hoping for. This is just one that I picked out. On 3, and Pete Nakos, the reporter for On 3, are reporting that Cam Coleman for Auburn has entered the transfer portal, which is fine. Like, hey, you do what's best for you. But Cam Coleman, as a true freshman in the SEC at Auburn, recorded 37 receptions for 598 yards and 8 touchdowns. What are you looking for? You want to go somewhere that'll give you the ball 100 times? Like, you're a true freshman, yet 8 touchdowns and over almost 600 yards receiving. I think you'd look around and go, I made a pretty good decision coming out of high school, and I should stick around and see it through. I know, and for those of you that are going to answer the question, I know it's money. A lot of cases, I'm not saying for Cam Coleman, but I'm saying in a lot of cases, it's like, I played well enough that I'm going to go make a bunch of money. I don't know. I think if you go somewhere and you both live up to your expectations, you should be able to find a dollar amount in NIL that gets you to stick around. NC State might have some opt-outs if they're worried about it, just because Tony Gibson's gone. Their defensive coordinator took the head coach at Marshall. And if you're like a senior looking to go pro and your coach leaves, you're probably going to be like, you know what? I think I'm going to work out a little bit here rather than stick around. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Got a steal. Soto, a high fly ball to center. Thomas backing up. Thomas at the track. And Juan Soto! A 3-run home run!
Juan Soto made a little bit of money over the or I don't know if he didn't make it, but he signed it. Signed a contract with the Mets, 15 years, $765 million. I feel like you almost have to say it with you have to say it with like a Dr. Evil pinky to the side of your mouth.
Yeah. So, 15 years, $765 million.
No, you got to say it bigger than that. You can't just breeze through.
15 years.
There you go.
$765 million.
You're darn right.
$51 million a year.
And the deal includes an opt-out after 5 years, no deferred money, which you've seen in a bunch of other baseball stuff, according to sources that told Jeff Passan. If Soto opts out, according to these sources, the Mets can void it by increasing his annual salary in the final 10 seasons by $4 million, which would take it from $51 million to $55 million, taking the total value to $805 million.
Dude.
So the way that works is he'll make $51 million a year over a 15-year deal. If after 5 years he goes, you know what, I want to test the market, I am opting out, the Mets can say, no, you don't. You're not allowed to, but we will increase it by $4 million a year to $55 million per year. This is bananas. Okay, this contract is crazy. My favorite, there's a million different ways to illustrate how crazy it is. My favorite, this contract is worth more than 22 Major League Baseball owners paid to purchase their Major League Baseball team. 22 of the Major League Baseball owners paid less than $765 million to buy their Major League Baseball team, and Steve Cohen of the Mets just paid that much to buy an outfielder.
When Tom Dundon bought the Carolina Hurricanes in January 2018, $420 million. That was a crane. At the time, it was a 52% stake, but 52% stake in the team was $420 million.
That's outlandish. Do you know what this does? And this, I'm a Mets fan, by the way. I put my biases on Front Street. You know what this does? You know what this does? We're the Yankees now. We are the Yankees now. And the reason I say that is I'm not sure Steve Cohen thinks Juan Soto is worth $765 or $800 million over 15 years as a baseball player. I think it's worth it to him to get Juan Soto, who's really, really good and young, 26 years old, but also to not have the Yankees or the Red Sox or some of these other teams get it. I think Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets, is going full Steinbrenner on this one. I'm the one that pays the most. I'm the one that does whatever needs to do to win. I'm the richest at the table. He's going full Steinbrenner. Now, as somebody that grew up in New Jersey for part of my childhood, and as a Mets fan, dealt with a lot of Yankees fans, didn't always enjoy that. It did look fun to win a bunch of games because George Steinbrenner just bought them. So I guess what I'm saying is, I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna see how fun it is, and hopefully Steve Cohen keeps spending and just puts together a lineup that is the best money can buy.
By the way, that $51 million is the equivalent of what the Carolina Hurricanes are paying Sebastian Aho, Andrei Svechnikov, Seth Jarvis, Martin Necas, Dmitry Orlov, Jacob Slavin, Brent Burns, and Eric Robinson. Those five, or those lists of Canes players, the 7 or 8 I just listed, average annual value for this year, their cap hit, $50.7 million.
Yeah,
just think about that.
Yeah.
Just think about that.
You know how every year, every July, everybody wants to talk about how baseball is broken and it has to be fixed and fans are leaving the sport and oh no. You know what? I think they're doing okay. I think somebody is going to get darn near $800, if not more than $800 million over the next 15 years to play baseball. I think we should stop worrying about the sport. That's number 4. I'm
just still trying to wrap my head around that.
Please, let's. I don't even want to wrap my head around it because I don't know. Maybe. Let's get to number 3.
Cooper backs down Smith, goes right by him, missed the layup, dunks it down to say goodnight on the follow. 1:10 to go, the lead back to 11.
Duke basketball, UNC basketball, NC State basketball, Wake Forest basketball, all won their ACC men's basketball openers over the weekend. Let's look into them individually a little bit here. Duke, this is probably nitpicking. They're up to number 4 in the AP poll. They, in the last week, beat the number 2 team in the country and then battled through to win another game against Louisville to open their conference schedule. I'm starting to wonder if they don't depend on Cooper Flagg a little too much. And you know, part of me feels foolish saying that because it's like if you have the number 1 overall pick in the upcoming NBA draft, should you really not depend on him a bunch? But like going into the Louisville game, Cooper Flagg led the team in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. Malik Brown of one of their transfers picked up 3 steals and just nudged past Cooper Flagg. So right now, Cooper Flagg leads Duke in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and he is second by a hair in steals. Part of that is wildly impressive by Cooper Flagg. Part of me thinks Tyrese Proctor should lead him in assists. Part of me thinks Kaman Malawa should lead him in rebounds and blocks. Part of me thinks maybe Con Knipple should lead him in points. Like, these are 5-star talents who do, like, that's their specialty. I think at some point Cooper Flagg is going to have an off night, and if it's in a game that means something like a ACC tournament or an NCAA tournament game, you're going to need these other guys to be ready, and you can't just always lean on Flagg. I know we had a little bit of foul trouble and some guys stepped up, but for like big chunks of the Duke season, it's just like, don't worry, Cooper got it. And usually he does. But I'm not sure if that's how you want it to run. UNC basketball, we talked about them a bunch earlier. They snuck by Georgia Tech. They are in desperate need of a great game. They are in desperate need of a 25-point win over a solid ACC team just to reset the engines a little bit. Some of their best players can't find the broadside of a barn from deep. 5 wins, no real impressive ones. 4 losses, I wouldn't say any bad ones, but they're just they're going through the motions. NC State beat Florida State in overtime. You know what's the best news about that game for NC State? They found their dudes. They found their guys. Dontrez Styles and Marcus Hill, 2 transfers. Both went for over 20 points in the game. But more importantly, they go to overtime against Florida State. Florida State's a solid program, maybe a down year, but Leonard Hamilton's always going to have them cooking to some degree. They go to overtime. They win the overtime by 10, which is absurd. Every point was scored by Dontrez Styles or Marcus Hill or 1 free throw from Jaden Taylor. That's it. Jaden Taylor had a free throw. Dontrez Styles had 5 points, including the 3 that gave him the lead that they wouldn't relinquish. Marcus Hill had 8 in overtime, including 4 made free throws. Everybody else can fall into their role. Michael O'Connell's a really good floor leader. Ben Middlebrooks and Brendan Huntley-Hatfield can be super role players down low, rebound, set screens, score the garbage points. They can do that. Jaden Taylor can be the same spark as a third leading scorer he was last year, but all of that only falls into plate if Hill and Styles know when the chips are down, we're getting the rock. One of you two. And it seems like they're falling into that, which I think is important for NC State. So it's not just a win in conference, ends a 3-game losing streak. You also learn something about a few players on your team, which could prove invaluable. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2 for a chance for the ACC championship. The kick is up. It is on its way, and it is gone!
56-yard field goal.
That was Clemson beating SMU in the ACC championship in overtime.
Heck of a game, by the way.
Heck of a game. There were actually two pretty good games going on at the same time if you had two screens. The Oregon-Penn State game was pretty good too, but the Clemson-SMU game was an instant classic. And it's exactly what the ACC needed. You know, for most of the season, I was hoping the ACC, not most of the season, at the very beginning of the season, I was hoping the ACC could sneak 3 teams into the college football playoff. By about midseason, I was just hoping against all hope that they could get 2. Clemson and SMU did just enough. They are the last 2 seeds. It is a 12-team playoff. SMU is the 11 seed. Clemson is the 12 seed. But hey.
Hey, when you're in, you're in.
It's like a Hall of Fame.
When you're in, you're in.
If you're the worst Hall of Famer, no one says worst Hall of Famer. You just say Hall of Famer. 2 playoff teams for the ACC. Let's look at their schedule here, their path. SMU gets Penn State in the opener. Tough break.
At Penn State too, by the way.
Penn State's pretty good.
True road game.
If there's a path towards you winning, I would say Drew Aller is the maybe the weak link. He is a quarterback that looks like what you think of a quarterback in like 2007 prototype. He is 6'5", 240, laser rocket arm, little bit of mobility, but wants to throw it, can chuck it with guys on his back. He is a beast, but he underwhelms quite a bit and sometimes throws some really boneheaded decisions in there. So if you can get him rattled, I think that's your chance. Other than that, they have multiple good running backs, solid defense. They're a good team, and they look good against Oregon. If you win that one, you get Boise State, which becomes the Stop the Ashton Genty show because he's an unbelievable running back. Clemson, I really like Clemson's run here. Like if you're looking at the bracket like we're doing college basketball and you got to find like who they could potentially play, Clemson gets Texas, which is tough. Don't get me wrong. But they've been banged up, little injury. Quinn Ewers, Arch Manning, what are they? There's weird dynamics in the quarterback room for them. I think Arch Manning has more it factor. I think Quinn Ewers has more experience. Sarkisian, I think, leans experience. I said this on, Saturday night. Dennis, believe this picture here, okay? Do you remember when Jalen Hurts was the quarterback of Alabama and things weren't going well and Nick Saban had the intestinal fortitude to say at halftime I am going to the unproven Hawaiian kid off the bench in Tua Tagovailoa?
Yeah.
And it ended up being one of the most unbelievable coaching decisions I've ever seen. You took the SEC Offensive Player of the Year off the field and won the game because of it.
Gutsy move.
I think Texas at some point might have a similar decision.
Throw out Arch Manning?
Where Quinn Ewers is a really good player, might be a future pro like Jalen Hurts.
Maybe.
But Arch Manning might have a little bit more of that it factor, maybe, debonair for the clutch moments. I'm just saying. If they don't, I think Clemson can get them. I think Clemson can get Texas, and if they do, Arizona State in the quarterfinals, that's lovely. Getting the Big 12 champion, that's lovely. And then semifinals will be tough. I don't care who it is. It'll be Tennessee, Ohio State, or Oregon. Buckle up there. But Clemson, I think, can make the semifinals. That might be one of my dark horse picks going into the college football playoff. But I'm not locking it in yet. And by the way, I picked Texas to win the whole thing preseason, so might be flip-flopping a little bit. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
Eagles bring the house. Bryce throws downfield. Lincoln is open. Diving. Makes the catch. Rolling. No, incomplete.
Oh, what?
They said incomplete. Now they're going to talk about it.
They're saying it hit the ground.
They say incomplete. Liget made a diving catch, or so it seemed.
Yeah. Or so it seemed. It was a drop. Let's call it what it was. It was a drop. Would have been a good catch. Had to lunge, kind of half dive to go get it. For those of you that didn't watch the game, that would have essentially won the game. Would have put him down at least at the 1 or 2 yard line. He may have rolled into the end zone and scored without being touched. Who knows? But it was a good ball by Bryce Young. From a quarterback's perspective, you're probably thinking that throw should have won the game. Panthers lose, Eagles win. So because of that, it changes the tinge on the game a little bit. Dennis, I know you watched it closely. What were your main takeaways from the contest?
To me, it was just a few mistakes that stood out. the Bryce Young interception ended up leading to a touchdown for Philadelphia. But I thought overall, defensively, they got after the quarterback somewhat, but the biggest breakdown for me was actually the times that they had Jalen Hurts in the pocket and could have gotten a sack, and he escapes away and ends up picking up first downs and extending drives. It's like, oh, you didn't account for Jalen Hurts scrambling and running for the football. Their run defense still stinks as a whole. But overall, it was just missed opportunities by Carolina once again. Even though they still had a chance to win it, it was still missed opportunities and stuff that they can control. It's dropped passes. It's a missed tackle. It's stuff that you can control. But overall, they're still right there. But it just goes to show you how these last few games, you're right there, you're right there, you're right there. But it still goes to show you how much further you need to go in order to turn these, oh man, we were right there, close loss, to, hey, we're winning these.
It truly is, if you're the Panthers, like a masterclass, or not a master, like an example. Like if I'm other teams, if I'm a high school team, I'm showing Panthers tape to my players about how you never know which one player the game's going to come down to. Chuba Hubbard fumbles, right, a couple weeks ago. That ends up being kind of the game. Xavier Legette drops a pass. That ends up being kind of the game. Like just one play here or there, and you never know who's going to be the one to have the game on their shoulders, so you got to prepare for it. It's what every coach tells every team every year all across the country, and they've just had a lot of really good examples of it back to back. I'd also say this. People have gotten mad at me when when I say people, I mean listeners have disagreed with me. I don't know if you're mad at me. Hopefully not. Hopefully we can disagree and be cordial. But people have disagreed with me when I've emphasized how important it is for the Panthers to get a high draft pick. And some are saying, no, you got to win every game. I'm going like, a loss might be a win here if you can keep a top 5 pick. And the reason I'm saying that is in those moments, if you have the one superstar, the one high level, the one elite player, the one to make the play, it changes everything. When you watch, like the Chiefs, everybody keeps saying, and that's not like, yeah, Mahomes, but I'm probably the only person to ever, Mahomes. But who does he look for? He's looking for Kelsey every time. If you go back and watch whatever that third down where he's scrambling around and then he throws the kind of the juke and then the ball, it's to Kelsey. Who is Bryce Young's Kelsey? Adam Thielen? Even if it is Adam Thielen, he's not going to be around very long. Like, go get if you're looking for a elite level pass catcher, go get one in the draft at the top. And if you're picking 12th, say goodbye to your favorite option. Say goodbye to Tayroa McMillan. Say goodbye to Travis Hunter. Say goodbye to whoever it is. Like the Panthers you could say it two ways. You could say the past few weeks they've been one play away from beating the Chiefs, one play away from beating the Eagles, maybe one play away from beating Tampa. Or you could say they're one player away from beating the Chiefs, one player away from beating the Eagles. You throw one more elite player, one more high-level player on offense or defense for the Panthers, they might make that one play. Which is why I think it's kind of a blessing in disguise, right? It's the hidden gem for the Panthers that they've lost these last 3 games while still, like Bryce Young taking steps and still seeing good things from young players and still having things to build off of. I think the fan base is getting more engaged with every game over the last 5 games. The fan base is getting more excited with every game over the last 5 games. And they're not as caring that you've lost the last 3. I do also want to just highlight real quickly here, Jonathan Brooks retore his ACL. You didn't even get a chance to really see. There's like 2 plays where we're like, from not this past weekend, the weekend before, the 18-yard catch, the 9-yard run, where you're like, ooh, there might be something there. 3 plays this week, retore the same ACL he tore in college at Texas before being a second-round pick of the Panthers. That's just bad luck. I don't think, and there's no way for any of us to know, but don't go screaming too aggressively about like, they brought him back too early. Why'd you rush him back? It's a lost season. Sometimes people step funny, and you could tear an ACL stepping off a curb. That kind of revisionist history doesn't really help anybody. That's brutal. I'll say it again, brutal for Jonathan Brooks and the Panthers. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab our numbers game contestants, I want to tell you all about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. More specifically, Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Raleigh's Village District location, the Omega Shop Within a Shop. It is the largest shop within a shop for Omega in the country. And you may be like, wait a second, Omega, that's the Speedmaster. You're right. That's the Seamaster. You're right about that too. These are two of the most iconic watches in the world, timepieces in the world. And right now you should visit Bailey's new Omega showroom to see all the different variations, right? Yes, they have the Moonwatch for the Speedmaster, Moonwatch Professional, the one that's been worn on the moon, the one that's certified by NASA. But maybe you're like, I don't want the black dial, I want the white dial. Or maybe you want rose gold, or maybe you want something a little dressier. Maybe you want something on a different band. They can show you every different option, throw them on your wrist so you can feel the power of having one of the most iconic watches on your wrist, one of the most iconic statement timepieces on your wrist. I've said this earlier, but holidays are creeping up. This is the time. You better start hinting if you know what you want to the people that buy you your big gifts every year. Find your perfect watch at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, and you can learn more at BaileyBox.com. While you're there, check out the main showroom. You might buy a gift for somebody else, maybe a special someone in your life. A lot of options there as well. BaileyBox.com. They have a whole gift guide that I encourage you to check out. Now, here on The Drive, we need some numbers game contestants. What's the prize for today, Dennis? Oh, I got it. Never mind.
Okay, so we have some tickets.
Sticks with Kevin Cronin and Don Felder at Coastal Credit Union on July 9th. We have a pair of tickets to see Sticks. Legendary band. If you want to win the tickets, if you want to win the numbers game, you have to call in now. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. For the numbers game, we need two contestants. Call in now. Numbers game next.
Football is on the menu tonight.
Showtime, prime time.
And we're dishing up a clash of conferences.
Hot dog, man.
It's Cincinnati and Dallas.
Dominate on 3, 1, 2, 3, dominate.
Pregame starts at 7:30. Kickoff at 8:15.
Put up or shut up time.
The NFL on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Med.
Here we go.
99.9 The Fan, the Triangle sports leader.
Monday night, you gotta feel it.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
A new game has landed in North Carolina. Officials are calling this new species of game Cash Pop. So easy to play, it's out of this world. Reports confirm you just pick and match one number to win up to $2,500. With 5 drawings every day, cash landings have been cited across the state. So be on the lookout for Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. The wins are out there. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds chart at nclottery.com for details. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately. Nope, sticking to our go-to places. You mean like Sharky's. Well, we love our Sharky's. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3. You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection. And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it. Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other? Yes!
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Tim Donnelly here for Zero Res to make sure you have the most jolly holiday season possible, because nothing makes us more jolly than a clean home, and Zero Res gets it the cleanest. The Zero Res Gotta Love It guarantee makes it easy to get what you pay for. That's right, Zero Res absolutely stands behind every cleaning. Call Zero Res right now, 919-995-0000, or go online at ZeroResRaleigh.com and say you want the 99.9 The Fan special. Appointments are filling up fast, so call today and beat the rush.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection.
One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Carey. Way back in the mid to late 80s, rates were all over the map, much as they are today. And what bothered me the most was seeing homeowners constantly chasing lower rates by paying upwards of $15,000 in closing costs each time. There had to be a better way, considering no one was keeping their new loan long enough to truly benefit. So it was during that time that Miller Lending discovered a way to offer a true no closing cost loan. With nothing charged or rolled in, customers were now able to realize immediate savings, as even a drop of 0.5% could save them thousands of dollars over the life of a new loan. Imagine eliminating the need for timing as you simply close on today's rates and refinance as soon as something better comes along. Fact is, Miller Lending hates closing costs. So before you throw away thousands of dollars chasing a rate you may not like a year from now, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2502146.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have two contestants on the line, Greg in Wake Forest and Micah in Morrisville. And they're getting ready to duke it out, battle it out for some Styx tickets. We have Styx tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 9th. A pair of tickets will go to the winner of the numbers game. As always, we have to ask a question to see who goes first. We'll start with Greg in Wake Forest. We'll pick our favorite answer. That person will get to lead off. The question is, what was the highlight of your past weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related. So please, Greg, take the floor.
I was deciding between two things. I'm going to have to go with the Bills-Rams game yesterday. That was just a fireworks show and really fun to watch. The two, or one B, if that's 1A, 1B is getting both SMU and Clemson in the college football playoff.
Very solid answers. That Buffalo game was absolutely bananas. It's also crazy that we called it the Buffalo game when the Rams won.
Yeah.
But hey,
it's that Josh Allen game.
To the highlights go the name. Micah in Morrisville. I think I know this, Micah. So your question is, did you see Lemieux got conditionally released? Sorry, I had to. For those of you that don't know, Micah's called in the past, and he was a huge advocate for Brendan Lemieux on the Canes, and Lemieux just got his unconditional waivers, so had to just poke a little fun at Micah. But Micah, welcome to the show as always, and go ahead and let us know the highlight of your past weekend, but keep it sports related.
Yeah, that made me sick to my stomach, what you just said, and when it happened. But I actually had a kind of a tie to my 1A, would probably be Bryce Young, just seeing him play as well as he's been playing and, like, just how happy he is and how confident he is, but while also losing, and it's not his fault. I love that because it's a good draft pick for us. And then 1B was Svetch getting back on the score sheet. I think he had 6 points in the last 2 games, so that's good for him to get rolling.
Svetch did wake up in a big way. Dennis, which is your favorite answer out of those two?
By the way, all of them really good answers, by the way. I love the fact that Josh Allen was my pick for MVP at the beginning of the season, so that feels good. But also SMU and Clemson both getting into the CFP. Bama fans, drink your tears. That's fine. You can do that. Bryce Young dealing, especially late in games, even though they're not winning, but still dealing late in games. And then, yes, Fetch is a little bit on a heater these last couple games. This is a tough one. These are all phenomenal answers.
It's actually 4 good answers and 2 answers.
They're all phenomenal. The most local is Panthers and Canes, so I'm going to go more local here on this one, but all of them phenomenal answers.
All right. That means, Micah, you get to go first. Micah, you ready to roll?
Yeah.
All right, categories are NFL players born in 1994, NFL players born in 1999, NBA players, we're talking Charlotte Hornets and Bobcats of the last 20 years, or NHL Hurricanes only?
NHL Hurricanes only.
Had a feeling. I'll give you the team and the players. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. I will say the team in this category, even though we need it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Any questions before we get started?
No, I'm good.
Perfect. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes.
20.
Correct. Jacob Slavin, Carolina Hurricanes.
74.
Correct. Hayden Fleury, Carolina Hurricanes.
4.
Correct. Ryan Beta, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Stephen Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
27.
Incorrect. Ryan Beta, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Correct. Stephen Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
11.
Incorrect. Stephen Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
22.
Incorrect. Stefan Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
3.
Incorrect. Stefan Yell, Carolina Hurricanes.
4.
Incorrect.
Dude, what?
What was the answer you gave for Ryan Beta?
I just pulled something random out. I said it random.
Well, then you randomly pulled 18 for Ryan Beta, and that counted, and you should have pulled randomly number 18 for Yell as well, because that would have counted.
When did he play?
Now you're going further than the information I have in front of me. You got Aho with 20. We can give you that eventually. Slavin, 74. You got Fleury with 4. For those of you playing at home, Beta wore 16, 18, and 47 during his time with the Canes. And as I mentioned, Yell, number 18.
2009-2010 season, Stefan Yell played 59 games with the Carolina Hurricanes.
There you go. You got 4. That's a solid answer. Go ahead and stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up for the win. And that brings us to Greg in Wake Forest. Greg, are you there?
I am.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players born in 1994, NFL players born in 1999, or NBA players that are all Charlotte Hornets and Bobcats of the last 20 years.
Let's go with the first category, 94.
All right. NFL players born in 1994. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Tyreek Hill, Miami Dolphins.
10.
Correct. Aaron Jones, Minnesota Vikings.
80.
Incorrect. Mitch Trubisky, Chicago Bears.
15.
Incorrect. Aaron Jones, Minnesota Vikings.
25.
Incorrect. Mitch Trubisky, Chicago Bears.
12.
Incorrect. Aaron Jones, Minnesota Vikings.
Pass.
Shaq Thompson, Carolina Panthers.
95.
Incorrect. Tyreek Hill, number 10. You got that one. Aaron Jones with the Vikings, 33. I believe he was 33 with Green Bay as well. Mitchell Trubisky with the Bears, number 10. And Shaq Thompson, we would have accepted 54 or 7 for his time with the Panthers. Unfortunately, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yep.
All right. So try again. That means Micah is the winner. Micah, congratulations. You won yourself some Sticks tickets.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Go ahead and stay on the line. You know how this works. And Dennis, grab the info he needs to make sure you get your tickets. That was the numbers game here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Micah is usually pretty darn good at the hockey stuff. Coming up one short is probably disappointing for him. I like setting the bar high, and that way, you're going for the perfect score. Everyone should be going for the perfect score is what I'm saying. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have to talk some hockey. We have not talked enough about the Carolina Hurricanes from over the weekend. So, it's ironic because you heard Micah mention it. Svech kind of got going. He's got some point production that is picking up over the last few games, but also the Canes are on a bit of a skid, right? They've dropped 4 of their last 5. And they have to be looking for something to get them off of that skid. They have to be looking for something that is going to get them back to playing how they were earlier in the year. And we're going to have that debate on how and when and what needs to happen for the Canes to get back to playing the level of hockey that we know they are capable of. Also, while I have you here for a minute, personal favorite time, please subscribe to our YouTube, 99.9 The Fan. While you're there, like, comment, turn on alerts, and all those sort of things. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, got to tell you something here. Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days thanks to Loan Pronto's new Rapid Equity Loan. Especially you homeowners out there, listen up. Imagine a completely hassle-free way to get cash out of your home equity. No appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's all-new Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash out in as little as 1 day. One client recently got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out their debt, launched a home improvement project, and is now saving over $1,000 a month. Instant approvals, low fixed rates, fast transfers. Get cash to consolidate all your debt and get a fresh start for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much you qualify for. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt free. Don't wait. Get your cash fast. Call 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back to break down some Carolina Hurricanes hockey next. Don't go anywhere.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
Ho, ho, how about this for holiday plans? Head to Raleigh Beer Garden, home of 3 Guinness Book of World Records, including over 380 drafts on tap. That'll jingle your bell. Plan your Holly Jolly meetup at Raleigh Beer Garden for great food and drink specials. And starting December 20th, play Hop Shots Mini Golf in our climate-controlled tent. Raleigh Beer Garden, open daily from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. and hosting the Triangle's best party on New Year's Eve. Follow us to see all our specials and events at RaleighBeerGarden.com.
Adam Golden Studio with my friend Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Are you feeling the spirit of the holiday, sir?
We love the holidays, Adam, and we are feeling the spirit. It's been a great year. Just want to thank everybody out there, our listeners, our homeowners, our employees, everyone involved that makes the Aluminum Company great. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Or do you get the sense that people ask for like green or red siding during this time of the year?
We have not gotten a request for green or red siding, but that is something we can always try and accommodate. We're here to help our homeowners with any concern they want to do.
You can do green or red metal roofing.
We can. Yes, we can.
Do they ever stripe it like green and then red and then green and then red?
We have not had that request yet, Adam, but we're here to accommodate any homeowner request.
Sometimes you just really feel the spirit of the holiday.
And we can accommodate.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you very much for all you do for us, for sponsoring my hockey podcast.
Happy holidays.
Appreciate that. AluminumCompany.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Welcome to the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club Aromatherapy Room. Our first scent is the essence of this month's scratch-offs.
I'm getting notes of anticipation mingled with cold hard cash.
Anyone else?
Oh, is that tilapia?
Sorry, that's my lunch.
New Diamond 10X and Lotteria are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.99 to 4.23. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Did you know that Bailey's Fine Jewelry has something for everybody and every budget? Sure, we're known for luxury designers, fine diamonds, and watches, but we also have a huge selection of jewelry and gifts under $500. We're celebrating making holiday gifting easy since 1948.
You can shop online at baileybox.com, or we invite you to visit one of our locations in Raleigh, Cary, Rocky Mount, and Greenville to see why every woman wants a Bailey Box under the tree.
Hey everybody, Paul Lyhander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. For NFL Monday Night Football, FanDuel wants you to win even bigger. Right now, all customers can get a 30% catch-up pass profit boost on the Bengals versus Cowboys Monday Night Football game. That means you can boost your next NFL catch-a-pass bet by 30% and take home even more winnings during tonight's Cincinnati-Dallas game. Bet on over-unders, spreads, player props, and so much more. And if you win, you get paid instantly. Don't wait. Download America's #1 sportsbook by visiting FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and take advantage of your profit boost today. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Max wager amount applies. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including token expiration. See terms for both offers at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Carolina trying to space out the Islanders' penalty killers. Aho dances with it along the blue line. He'll make a tight turn at Crawford. Gostisbehere out in front. Loose to score! Andrei Svechnikov is second of the game, second on the power play, and it's 2-1 Carolina.
The drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of 99.9 The Fan, we have a full evening for you. We're nearing the end of the drive. At the top of the next hour, 6 o'clock, Panther Talk. So you'll hear from Dave Canales. You'll hear insight into the game against Philly. I'm sure some insight into the Jonathan Brooks injury and everything that goes along with that. So that's coming up at 6. Wolfpack Weekly featuring Kevin Keats, head coach NC State men's basketball, at 7. You'll hear insight into their season opening overtime win over Florida State. Or when I say season opening, I mean ACC conference opening. Overtime win over Florida State. And then that'll go right into Monday Night Football, Bengals Cowboys, Joe Burrow, CeeDee Lamb, bunch of headliners. So that's all coming up right here on 99.9 The Fan. In the meantime, we need to talk a little Canes hockey. The Hurricanes are in a skid. That's not the end of the world. I want to be clear. But it is a question of who and or what is going to knock them out of that skid. Right? I don't pretend to know all of the ins and outs of the most strategic things in hockey. But I do know the dynamics in locker rooms, and I do know about how a lot of athletes think, and I've observed, and I've been in locker. Like, I get that, and I know that something or someone has to knock the Canes out of the recent trance they're in. Over the last 12 days, they've gone from 16-5-1. It didn't look like anything could stop them. They had just beaten the Rangers with their third-string goalie. They were right at the top of the Metropolitan Division. 2-0 since Seth Jarvis returned from his injury, and they had scored a goal in both of those games. Jarvis had. Like, everything was kind of cooking. Then 12 games later, they've lost 4 of 5. Or 12 days later, sorry. They've lost 4 of 5, including losses to the Kraken and the Islanders, right? So it's not just playing the Panthers with a backup goalie. It's also some losses to some teams you shouldn't have lost to. They're comfortably third in the division. They're still reeling. They're sliding, skidding. We know the talent is there. We've seen it.
Little sputter.
Okay, skid, sputter. It's not a full-blown catastrophe. It's just that you're off the road a little bit. Your cars, right? Modern cars, they're beeping, beep, 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 because you're drifting lanes. We know the talent is there. What needs to happen to get you back on? There's, again, 2 things. Something or someone. Something could be like, a cheap shot from a team on a player on the other team to one of your best players, and now you all rally around and get that fire, and okay, now the energy in the room is different. Could be, I don't know, like a national media person calling your team a bunch of jerks. Like there's things that can rally a squad. But if you're waiting for something outside your control to flip a switch, you could be waiting a while, right? There's no guarantee something like that's going to happen. One of the most valuable traits in an athlete, and this comes from every bit of athletic experience I have in every capacity, player, fan, media member, one of the most valuable traits in a player is the ability to snap teams out of skids. And certain players just have it, right? They just, hey, we've lost 3 or 4, we lost 4 or 5. I'm not going to let us lose this game. And they go out and almost through sheer force of will can move everyone in a different direction. And it's rare, but the ones that have it, they become all-time greats. You hope it's Aho. I think Jarvis might have the personality for it, where he's just like, oh, you guys all down? I'll score and smile, and all of a sudden everybody's going to be in a different place. Natchez probably has the physical ability going right now, but he's playing well during the skid, so I don't know if he's the dude. Goalies always have that opportunity. Just call a spade, right? Goalie goes out there, faces 24 shots in the first 2 periods, stops them all. Look at that. The energy in the room is different. Like, they just need something to change what's going on. And do you know what the best teams do? And you hope you're one of them? They take like a 5-game skid and don't let it become a 6-game skid. Everyone in the NHL is going to have down weeks. Everyone in the NHL is going to have slumps. The best teams make sure it doesn't turn into a 9-game skid. It's just a 6. You know what I mean? It's just they're a little bit quicker at it. They adjust a little bit faster. Somebody snaps them out of it 3 or 4 games earlier. The bad teams take a 5-game skid and it becomes an 11-game skid. They get out of it. They start playing well again, but then every downturn just lasts a little bit longer. Right? That's all I'm looking for, is just somebody to get them back to playing how we know they can. Right? This is a luxury. There are teams out there that don't know they're good. They might hope they're good. They might think they're good. They don't know it. We know the Canes have the talent. We've seen it. They've gone on runs where it's like, okay, when they put it together, they can skate with anyone. Obviously, the situation in goal is one that you're going to have to monitor, and you're going to have to maybe make a move, or maybe just wait for Freddie to come back to kind of complete the goalie room. But outside of that, I like the roster. I don't like the way it's playing right now. I like the roster. I want to see who snaps him out of it. That's really what I'm getting at. And I hope it's somebody that can learn how to do it often. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll monitor. They play tomorrow, so we'll talk about it more in depth tomorrow. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. I have some questions for you. Do you know how much you're spending on commissions out of your retirement plan each year? How about the amount of risk you're taking? Do you know exactly how many fees you're paying? If not, or if that answer is like, oh, geez, am I supposed to know that? It's time to sit down and see for yourself how these financial termites can wreak havoc on your financial plan. And it's probably time to call Coach Pete over there at Capital Financial, because he knows how to exterminate each and every one of those financial termites and get you not just to retirement, but through retirement without having to worry about any of them. Wouldn't it be great to have an income you never have to worry about being taken away all the way through retirement? That's a question where the answer should be yes. And that's what Capital Financial and Coach Pete want to do for you. You can call right now, 800-691-3215, right now, or text my name, Tim, to 600-700, and you will not only get the retirement plan, you'll also get your very own 7 Baby Steps box set for free. Coach Pete's special golden ticket with the $1,000 value will be there for your very own total and customized retirement plan, but also on top of that, the 7 Baby Steps box set. But again, you have to call 800-691-3215 or text Tim, just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. And if they know you heard about it here, you'll get hooked up with everything I just described. It's all happening at Capital Financial Advisory Group, and Coach Pete leading the way, as a good coach does. With that being said, it's almost Panther Talk time, everybody. Enjoy Panther Talk here on 99.9 The Fan. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk. Panthers Playbook. The Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Shotgun snap. Quick throw. Near side. Tommy Tremble into the end zone. Front right corner of the end zone. Carolina back.